continuing with migration. I will look at migrations in the world. We will look at a spatial analysis of migration. We will also try doing some answer writing on this. And apart from that, we will go to a concept called social capital and then problems of the population. Right in the beginning, agenda of the day is clear to you. Now, quickly coming to your questions and comments. Good morning to all of you who are wishing me good morning. A very, very good morning to all of you and a great day ahead. Today, we also have one more special class coming in, whereby I am going to do something which we had missed in climatology, climatic regionalization of the world, and I will look at Indian regionalization also. This was just an information. Let me see if there is any comment scrolling up. So good morning to all of you. Time is 6 p.m. Yes, time is 6 p.m. Is everyone okay? So any question in topic that we were reading yesterday? What was the topic? Migration. Yes. Population and the carrying capacity. That is what we are talking about. Yesterday in CSAT paper, population related article came and that gave such confidence. Yes, comprehension, you will find many topics which are coming. Maybe you would have talked about them, discussed about them in your geography classes. And whenever in comprehension, you get something which you already know, your confidence, your comfort with that becomes so much that you're able to score high on that. So that's a good thing if that happens. Any more questions, everyone? Any questions? I'm looking for a question for all of you to write today. तो हमने इतना काम कर लिया तो एक आंसर राइटिंग होना चाहिए. So कल टेस्ट अच्छा हुआ लेकिन माइनस के मार्क्स कम हो गए, माइनस से मार्क्स कम हो गए. So everyone, I said this is the time to work on your accuracy also. 20% errors, okay, but beyond that, then it's a problem. So think about that, everyone. Think about that. Yes. So we were talking about migration. I have a question for you. Try करेंगे. Did we have a look at migration other than what was happening in the class? मौका मिला हो तो. So I am new to your class. I am aiming 2023 and I have missed the physical geography part. Should I continue for your lecture from population or should I wait for the new batch? Timing is also an issue for me. I'm a lecturer in the college and classes till 1 p.m. Okay. So Manoj, I have a good news for you. The good news is that we are starting another batch from 2nd of June. So a new batch begins from 2nd of June. It begins with a foundation course, 7 days foundation course on NCERT. Very, very important. It will do that. Now, when we started the current batch, we've already done a geography beginners foundation. That was based on GC Leong, where you learned a lot about world map also. Now, I have a strong advice for you, Manoj, since you are taking your own classes, you are also busy. So I have a very strong advice that you do these recordings till 2nd June. You please complete this. After that, the good news is that after this, probably by mid or 14th of June, we will start paper 2. You can straight away join from paper 2 and that will be a 3 p.m. batch. Straight away join from paper 2. So paper 1 when the next round comes, you can do that live also. So this is what my suggestion would be. Picking up from here, that will be a challenge. Is it okay, Manoj? I hope I helped you with this answer. Harsh says मेरा rank 172 है. Okay, Harsh, बहुत अच्छी बात है. इस rank को और improve करेंगे. Sir, is migration helping in mitigating inequalities between countries? Good question. Is migration reducing global inequalities? Absolutely good idea to think of. We will talk about this. UN DESA report talked more idealistic about it. I don't know UN DESA क्या बात कर रहा है. We will talk about that also. So everyone, so 5 minutes are over. Your questions I have taken, and Manoj, I hope you got your answer also through Manoj. All others who have just walked in want to see how to join, where to join, how to get integrated. That is there. So ask a question. So you don't have to answer this question. You have to tell me what is the challenge for this question. ये question कहाँ परेशान कर रहा है? What do you need to know to answer such a question? Question is spatially analyze the contemporary international migration trends and the challenges posed by it. What do you have to do? You have to brainstorm. Please brainstorm. All you have to do is brainstorm on this, and I want to see that what you have and what is missing. वो भी पता कर लो what is missing, and then we will go into this. And I have an interesting story to tell you after that. Story is about Ibn Battuta. Have you heard of Ibn Battuta, the famous traveler? So I'll be talking about that also. So if you want an interesting story, good story, I want a good brainstorming. So quickly, एक बढ़िया सा brainstorming करेंगे so that we are empowered with what we are doing. जल्दी से, quickly. 5 minutes. I'm keeping the time. It's 11:43 till 11:48. Do not sit idle in between. Think about it. What all is needed? What all is needed? Thanks a lot. So what was about migration? Migration is this, migration is that. This answer cannot be answered just by that. Yes or no? Can you see the examiner is going to ask us very specific things? So what are the challenges in this? First of all, you need to know the trends. True or not? Some values needed or not? Second thing, what else is needed? Map. Very, very clear. बिना map तो काम होगा ही नहीं. Is everyone okay? Without map काम नहीं होगा. And in fact, if you ask me to compare population versus migration, I think teaching migration, studying migration is more geographical in nature, because there is an involvement of movement of people in migration. Do you agree or not, everyone? Migration, there is actual physical movement. True or not? In migration, there is actual physical movement, whereas otherwise it is not there. True. So that is what I wanted everyone to see and realize that this is where we are posted in this. तो अब स्पेशल मूवमेंट पे बात करते हैं. देखो माइग्रेशन होता है. One is migrant migration, another is mobility. So remember Ibn Battuta, the famous traveler of medieval ages. Medieval ages, famous traveler. So have you heard of Muslims going for something called as a Hajj Yatra? Yes, they go to Mecca, Medina. Generally, what stage of life do they go to Hajj Yatra? Muslims, Islam में आपको जीवन में एक बार हज के लिए जाना चाहिए. Generally, when you are done with your responsibilities and everything, you give up everything and then you go to मक्का मदीना. ठीक है, चलिए हज यात्रा हो गया. सबका एक सपना है. मधुकर से सर हिंदूज में काशी है. कितनी अच्छी बात है. So कहीं पर मधुकर कहना है, see that somewhere the thought is that after you have done your worldly responsibilities, you should devote something to yourself. बहुत अच्छा द्विवेदी कह रही है, वानप्रस्थ आश्रम की बात है सर, जैसे हमारा आश्रम सिस्टम होता है. तो इतना अलग तो नहीं, इतने बुरे तो नहीं है हम लोग कि आपस में साथ में ना रह सके. Yes, the ideologies are not that different. अच्छा चलिए, I want to tell you that everyone is socialized the world that we live in. So in Africa, Islam spread in Africa also, and Ibn Battuta is from Morocco. You can understand almost western tip of Africa. Islam had spread over to this whole desert region, and then it entered Europe and Spain. I've already given you the story on that. So the difference between African Islam and apni taraf ka Islam is that is what I want to tell you, that every culture is influenced by it. So Islam in India talks about going for Hajj when you are old. In Africa, you go for Hajj when you are young. When you cross 2021, chalo, पहुंच जाओ. Know the world in the process. Know the world and travel. Medieval ages. I'm sure there was no aircraft then. कैसे जाएगा? How will he travel? Camels, caravans. Yes or no? Camels, caravans. सौरभ बेटा आप दिमाग नहीं लगा रहे हो ज्योग्राफी में. यहाँ तो लैंड पड़ा हुआ है ना, क्यों शिप पे जाएगा? Why would he take a ship? यहाँ तो सब लैंड है. Tell me. If you want to go from Africa, would you take a ship पहले? अरे पहले लैंड पे आएगा यार, क्या बात कर दिया? ज्योग्राफी स्टूडेंट कुछ भी. So साहब इब्न बतूता साहब मोरक्को से चलते हैं. He moves from Morocco and he travels, and that ship journey, that desert journey itself is a challenge. Challenge भी है, I think, a learning also. Then he reaches Mecca, Medina. उसके बाद वो आगे बढ़ जाते हैं. I want to tell you that many of you haven't traveled abroad. Many of you haven't traveled in the country itself. Traveling teaches you like anything. So are you a migrant here? No, you're not particularly. I would not say the idea is not just migration. Idea is more of mobility. If I'm talking about Fayan, Wensang, Marco Polo, these are famous travelers of the world. So the issue is what? These are not with the intention of migrating. These are travelers. Wanderlust. सुना? कहीं जाने की चाहत, दूर कहीं जाने की चाहत. That's a lot of romance. And romance is over nowadays. अब कौन जाना चाहता है? So Ibn Battuta, he was a trained priest also. But he said, देखो priest नहीं बनना, I want to travel. So he travels. After doing his Mecca Medina part, he travels to India. I don't know. मेरे ख्याल से तुगलक के टाइम में आए हैं ये. मोहम्मद बिन तुगलक के टाइम में he visits India. Get it? So he's in India, and in the times of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, and Tughlaq was a very temperamental leader, a king, leader कहूँगा, king के लिए. So every day he will do some tantrum. Some beggar will turn a rich man, and every day one man will be hanged for some mistake. So कुछ ऐसा हुआ कि Ibn Battuta lived over here. He was given the job of the priest, and people knew that he's a traveler. So whenever he reached places, people knew about him. People knew about him. So he had such reputation. तो जहाँ भी जाते थे Ibn Battuta, उनकी काफी पूछ होती थी. MBT also kept him in his court, and he was keeping records and everything. But as things would have it, if you have a temperamental king, anything can happen. So एक दिन Ibn Battuta का भी number आ गया, and Ibn Battuta was always afraid someday my number will also come. So the idea was कि somebody did a mistake, and Muhammad bin Tughlaq said that this person should be killed, and anyone who knows him, all his contacts should also be killed. कितना खतरनाक है. Contact list also to be killed. Not just the person, but his mobile. Check the mobile, and the contact list will also be killed. And Ibn Battuta was on the contact list. So Ibn Battuta knew अपनी बारी आ गई. True or not? Ibn Battuta was struck with an idea. Those were the times when Tughlaq was thinking of improving relations with China. So he said, why don't you send one person to China as your ambassador, and I'll be that. So Tughlaq, बात मान गए. Tughlaq sent Battuta for that Chinese travel. Battuta never returned to India. After that, he went to China, and whatever things happened, and then he went back, returned to Africa, Morocco, and he died. One of the most traveled person of medieval history, record holder, that is Ibn Battuta. अब मुझे बताइए, medieval ages, even ancient ages, when we are talking about Fahian, Vansan, these people were travelers. You've heard of Buddhist monks traveling across, spreading the teachings of Buddha. Yes or no? Buddhism भी तो preach किया कि नहीं किया? Lord Ashok, Samrat Ashok, sent his children to spread, preach Buddhism. Yes or no? Did he or did he not? Universalizing religion. How many people you know today in this world who are into traveling like this? How many of you have this streak of traveling? घूम के आया है. And is it safe? Is it safe? So I want to tell you, were they having visas and passports? So there was no restriction to mobility at that time. In fact, these travelers were respected. They were carriers of knowledge and expanding the frontiers of the known world. They were like carrying those travelogues. They were cataloging everything. Amazing work was happening. So my wife had a client. This girl was from UK. And my wife is an image consultant, so they were talking, both of them. So this girl said, my father has traveled the world 2 times. My father has traveled the world 2 times. Once alone, one is my mother. So my wife was curious. 2 बार घूमे. So she met this old man. Okay, that unfortunately that man is no more there. So she met this old man and she asked him, you must have a lot of money to travel the world. Yes, no? Traveling the world 2 times. Modern day. You traveled the world 2 times. No, your experiences must be great, but you must have a lot of money. He said, no, I didn't have a lot of money. I had, say, for example, $2,000. She said, impossible. How can you travel with $2,000? He said, times have changed. Times have changed. I'm talking about 1970s. I traveled with it. She said, how? 2,000 is not there. Matlab, this is not enough at all. So he said, well, youth makes you do many things. So remember, Ibn Battuta is traveling. So many travelers are traveling everywhere. Will they live there for long or not? Will they return back to their original place? Not necessary. So he said that I wanted to travel and I want to marry a girl in every continent. Yes, I wanted to see the world. I wanted to have a great life. So I started traveling. I had only this much money. So my wife said, how did you survive? He said, wherever I went, I worked. My wife said, what did you work? He said, well, plumber, electrician, librarian, farmer, and in one place where I really fell in love with a woman was in a gold mine. He said, anything and everything I was ready to work. No UPSC. Wherever I reached, I was willing to give my skills. I was willing to work over there, lived with those people, lived a beautiful life. And in one of those trips to one of the continents, I found my wife. My wife also loved that idea. Since then, both of us traveled. Then we had kids also. इन बच्चों को छोड़कर फिर हम एक और राउंड पे गए. True. Those are amazing things. How would you, and imagine, are these easy things? That's some spirit, no. तुम लोगों का अगर एक नेगेटिव मार्किंग ज्यादा हो जाता है तुम्हारी जान निकल जाती है. सर, my marks are not coming, sir. I don't know what is happening, sir. I want to commit suicide, sir. Sir, please save me, sir. Devanshu says needs courage, conviction. Yes or no? So एक दौर था लाइफ का. True. Today, can you move? And I want to tell you that I have traveled at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 continents. I did not go to Antarctica. I did not go much to North America, except for these 2 continents. Traveling made my life so beautiful. It made me see so many things. It made me realize and understand so many things. Mobility. The world is about mobility. So my wife said, tell me one thing, which you found in your learning, which you got in your travels across the world. He said, everywhere in the world, the problems are the same. Every country, every culture, the problems are the same, the challenges are the same. There is a family, you have to bring up your children, they have to grow, you want a bright future for yourself, you want a security for your job, you want a security for your house and everything. Roti, kapda, makan, those are the basic needs that are driving us. And in between, the politicians, leaders can make their life beautiful. At the same time, some of them can take power and make it difficult. Yes. So people who thought Ibn Battuta, Payan are ancient and medieval things, I'm talking about modern day travelers. I'm talking about modern day travelers. This person who we met, now I talk to him often, like we learned a lot of things about his journeys, and because I had traveled a lot, so I also knew so many things, beautiful things about life. So what I'm trying to say here is that when we are talking about, somebody asked the question, can migration reduce international differences? I would say human history is the history of migrations. Human history is the history of migrations. Geography of resources is such that resources are not uniformly developed, uniformly distributed. I said developed, I'm sorry. And because of that, there are some resource excess regions, some resource deficit regions. That is why the idea of trade came in. Idea of mobility came in. So Islam, when it is spread during the times when I told you, medieval times, so that was one of the biggest virtues given in Islam was to travel and trade. If needed, go to the end of the world. At that time, the end of the world used to be China. So Ibn Battuta goes for that. वो आपकी सोच में आ जाता है. अच्छा, एक बार मुझे वहां तक जाना है. That's what we are talking about. Traveling seems unaffordable. I have delved into fiction to know about different cultures and feeling like interacting with the people about that. Marco Polo, Murakami, Khalid Hussaini. मनोज बहुत अच्छी बात है. But फिर मैं वही कहूंगा कि when we talked to him, my wife said, but sir ये आपके टाइम में हो गया. Now it is not possible. So he said, see, आज भी budget carriers हैं. There are budget carriers. There are budget hotels. And are you willing to give your skills? तो मतलब देखो, कंफर्ट से बाहर निकलना तो मुश्किल है ना. अभी आप पढ़ाते भी हो, यू आर लेक्चरर आल्सो, मूविंग आउट, एंड आई एम सेइंग एज एन academician you have a lot of things. And since you are talking about books, read something about Immanuel Kant, the philosopher. These were traveling philosophers. They would teach in different universities. They would reach out and give their annual lectures. So unaffordable is one thing, Manoj. Other is intention. अगर है तो निकल के आएगा. But as we say, today we are talking about a topic called migration, and we are looking at the world today is going against these ideas. Is not about trade. Remember, अभी इंडिया ने बैन किया, current affairs, India banned all wheat export. Yes, G7 countries, the agriculture ministers, did they not say that India should not do this? If any kind of protectionism starts coming at this point of time, if all countries stop, then how will the world run in this time of crisis? True or not? So India said, ठीक है, we will look into it. Don't worry, we will meet our commitment. कोई गरीब होगा उसको दे देंगे, but we cannot have our national thing. So वही मैं कह रहा हूँ कि migrants कैसे घुसेंगे. So today when we are talking about migration, see it as a bigger concept, and the bigger concept is about mobility. The bigger concept is about mobility. Global mobility. Two things are needed. One is you. Always remember, humanistic approach. Everyone is unique. बहुत से लोगों को डर लगता है. I am a traveler at heart. Give me a backpack, I will travel for my life. You give me that, I'll travel for my life. My wife is not a traveler. She says, I'm happy. I like to have things stable at one place. True or not? Occasionally on a luxury travel I can go, but not like this. Hit the roads. Different. Yes or no? One is this. What spirit are you? Humanistic idea. Second comes the quantitative revolution. What are the procedures? What are the options? What are the opportunities? You will be surprised अफगानिस्तान में आजकल क्या चल रहा है. और आप लोग सुनते होंगे, sometimes you would have seen in current affairs people come out with the value of Indian passport. Have you seen such videos? Indian passport is this rank, that rank. If you have an Afghanistani passport, your mobility, international mobility is highly restricted. उन्हें पता है कि कौन से फ्लैश पॉइंट्स हैं, वो उन लोगों को कभी एक्सेप्ट ही नहीं करेंगे. Recently, UK में a bill was pulled out. This bill was illegal landing. So you land in UK, you don't have documents. Illegal landing. Now there is a law which can punish you also. Otherwise you can stop. Your excess ही वो कर देगा, illegal आपके पास paper नहीं है. If you are going on an international flight and you don't have the paper, Indian immigration will stop you. So वो तो agreements है. But if somehow you reach UK, they were mulling on a bill, illegal landing पे आपको जेल करवा देगा. Thankfully they fought on this और वो bill pass नहीं हुआ. Tell me one thing. This world belongs to us or not? This air belongs to us or not? This water belongs to us or not? Who has the rights to draw these boundaries? Who has the rights to draw these boundaries? These boundaries were never there. A world without borders. Yes, a world without borders. Now that's an idealistic thing. I do understand. So states, the idea of state, the politics of it, that had a need. There was a need for this. So I understand. I'm okay with it. But mobility per ban हो जाना, ये बहुत गड़बड़ है. And tell me one thing. When there is a genuine need for mobility, say for example in the case of a genocide, yes, we have an international refugee convention where you have a right to apply for an asylum. कि my life is threatened in this country, I am seeking asylum. So asylum seekers, Geneva Convention हम बात कर रहे हैं, asylum seekers के लिए सब मुश्किल हो जाता है अगर mobility restrict कर दी जाए. And I want to tell you, during COVID times, various central governments have come up with legislation which stops all kind of mobility. True or not? But mobility तो फिर भी है, mobility फिर भी होती है. So I want to tell you, if you stop legal ways, what will come up? Illegal ways. Illegal ways means people who genuinely deserve to migrate, who need to migrate, they will use those informal ways and they will be killed in the way. Yes or no? They will be killed, they will be exploited, and I told you all kind of human crimes can happen in those cases. And I know of such crimes happening. I know of people, I know of cases where I've met them, and it's a sad, sad story which I don't even want to share with any of you. That is what we're talking about mobility. Look, फंस गए. Indians by mistake they reach, they can't move out. फंसे हुए. West Asia, Europe, बहुत तरह से illegal movements. अभी आपने देखा अफगानिस्तान से लोग किस तरह से on the airport they were like trying to climb even the aircraft में से लोग गिर रहे. Remember the wheel of the aircraft where they were trying to escape that. You know what's happening in Afghanistan? A dangerous migration is happening in Afghanistan. Every Afghan family is telling their eldest son to do whatever, legal or illegal, somehow move out of Afghanistan. And when you reach a favored land, preferably Europe, call us or at least send something for us. So that boy is going to be Ibn Battuta. But Ibn Battuta was a privileged, trained, skilled person. Everyone who's listening to me, one guru mantra which I would want to give everyone who listens to me: have one skill in your life. Degrees nahi keh raha hu. Have one skill in your life. You will never fail. Unfortunately, in India, skilling is not taken care of. And skilling, I'm saying, if you learn how to play a guitar, that's a skill. If you know agriculture, that's a skill. That's a skill. If you can write beautifully, calligraphy, that's a skill. That's a skill. Get those skills. We are living in a world which we call as the fourth industrial revolution. Have you heard of that or not? Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, robotics. Have a skill. Have a skill. In life, you will never fail. ये यूपीएससी की क्लासेस कर रहे हैं, एग्जाम दे रहे हैं, नहीं दे रहे हैं, डिग्रीज इकट्ठा कर रहे हैं, भूल जाओ. Have a skill. You can cook well. Make sure you take it to the top level. Have a skill. Be a certified cook. Be a certified singer. और सर्टिफिकेट को सिर्फ एप्लीकेशन के लिए अपनी स्किल को टॉप रखिए. And there are many unskilled civil servants in the Indian administration. That's the sad part of it. They're there just because they cleared an examination. They lack all the skills. They don't have the human skills. They don't have the physical skills. कुछ नहीं आता है. बस एक एग्जाम पास कर लिया था. Get it? So if I may send a message across to you, travel. Number one, travel. Don't hide behind affordability. India में तो travel कर सकते हो. Everyone, boys, I'm talking to you. एक बाइक लेके पूरा इंडिया travel किया जा सकता है कि नहीं? बहुत पैसा तो नहीं आएगा. Yes, girls, ये क्यों मैं discrimination कर रहा हूँ? Even girls can do that. True. Yes, definitely there are issues of safety. Safety को ध्यान में रख के करेंगे. कर सकते हैं. I'm just asking you, is it possible within India or not? Within budget. Within budget. These days we are living in social media. You will find एक बार open करके देख लीजिए YouTube पे कितने लोग budget travel कर रहे हैं. No, no, sir, I'm married. कर लो. Married भी कर सकते हैं. Husband, wife दोनों कर सकते हैं. True. Online class ही तो लेनी है. You can log in from anywhere in the country. There are people who are doing padayatras. There are people who are doing cycle yatra. Yes or no? Why not? Dwivedi said I did up to MP. बहुत अच्छी बात है. जितना किया अपने स्टेट में कर लो. Do it in your districts. Don't give me money is a problem. You also know money is not a problem. So मम्मी पापा अलाउ नहीं करेंगे. ये तो बड़ी बात है. Do they trust you? Do they trust you? Have you been trustworthy? They are caring for you. तुम्हें पता है नालायक बाहर निकलेगा ना, गिरेगा, मरेगा. True. एक काम करें खुशी. खुशी, let's do one thing. Kushi saying parents won't allow us. Kushi, let's do one thing. After prelims, no, plan a trip. Papa, Mama, I want a break. If you're from North India, go to South India. If you're from South India, come to North India. And Papa, Mama, I'm not wanting for something lavish, luxury. Let's go for a budget travel. शुरू तो करिए. Let the chorus come into the system. Mega saying I have traveled Arunachal recently by my car. Whatever, Mega, I have no issues. And I'm saying आपने बहुत सारी चीजें सुनेंगी. Tourism में, have you heard of ecotourism? Have you heard of ecotourism? Have you heard of homestays? So don't just look at the comfort of it. Don't just look at the comfort of it. Don't just look at the comfort of it. इतना बड़ा इकोसिस्टम बनता है. इतना बड़ा इकोसिस्टम बनता है. You can very well move around. इसी ग्रुप पर, हमारे ही ग्रुप पर कितने सारे बच्चे हैं. You can very well seek advice of the people. Like, hey guys, I am from Gujarat, traveling to Andhra Pradesh. Please advise. Hey guys, I am on Visakhapatnam. Please advise. क्या दिक्कत है? हो सकता है. The world is an island, यार. So to be honest, it is easy to say convince your parents. ये तो बात है, तुम भी सही कह रहे हो तुम. खुशी सिंह नहीं बोलते हैं लड़की हो कहाँ जाना है प्रिपरेशन के लिए, दिल्ली नहीं जाने दिया. मैं तो कह नहीं रहा खुशी गो अलोन. आई एम नॉट सेइंग दैट यू गो अलोन. गो विद देम. आस्क देम टू कंपनी यू. साथ में जाएंगे. वो देखो मधुकर इज सेइंग सर का लेक्चर सुनवाते जाएंगे. वो बोलेंगे सर को भी बैन कर दो. ट्रू. ये सुनो. Okay, perfect. Where are we now? चलिए आगे बढ़ें, फिर इसमें काम करना शुरू करें. So the story is over. I hope you got that. And I want to tell you, even before traveling across the world in my career at sea, I had traveled with my family at many places. There are annual holidays, no? तो COVID restrictions भी कम हो गए. During my graduation, me and my man and my friend traveled places in North India with a very tight budget. Time का खाना भी skip करते थे. चलो ठीक है, बहुत अच्छी बात है. I was in defense, fortunately, but states घुमा दिए department ने, बहुत अच्छी बात है. शिवम, I'm very sure that traveling made you learn a lot. बहुत सी चीजें आप सीखे भी होंगे. True or not? चलिए then, where are we placed? Let us look at this also. पूर्वी कह रहे हैं, माय पेरेंट्स से जिंदगी पड़ी घूमने को, कुछ बन के घूम लेना. ठीक है, तो कुछ गलत नहीं है, उसके बाद भी हो सकते हैं. बोलो पिताजी आप तो कुछ बन गए, कुछ तो आप भी घूमने का कोटा अपना पूरा करिए, मुझे भी साथ ले चलिए. ट्रू और नॉट? उन्होंने भी तो, वो भी तो कुछ बने ना. जैसे ही कुछ बन के घूमना, आई विल डू दैट. पापा मम्मा भी तो कुछ बन गए ना अभी, बोले आपके कोटे में घुमा दो, फिर मैं अपने कोटे में आपको घुमा दूंगी. पॉसिबल? चलिए, लेट मी अपलोड द फाइल. तुम लोग ना बस रोना रोते रहोगे. आई सेड वर्क ऑन योर स्किल्स, वो नहीं करेंगे, दुखी रहेंगे बस. चलना जी रहा हूं ना किसी को जीने दे रहा हूं, बस इसी तरह से सर मैंने सब्सक्रिप्शन ले लिया. I'm going to Brigu Lake and Manali trekking after 10 days. Won't be getting long holidays once we'll join IT. Perfect. छोटे मोटे उसके लिए जाएंगे, ये थोड़ी है कि बहुत लंबा जाना है, छोटा मोटा में we can very well go there. So that's my advice to all of you. Don't worry, things are good. Life is an adventure as long as you see that. देखेंगे तो जरूर होगा. लेकर आते हैं आपके लिए माइग्रेशन पे बातें, और एक और चीज लेकर आना, इसके बाद दूसरी चीज भी लेकर आते हैं. Social capital. That's where it will work for you. Sabhi log, please make sure you look into this. Well, there is no universal agreed definition of migration or migrants. Several definitions are widely accepted. हमने कल भी बात की थी. UN DESA की definition है, United Nations Department of Economic and Social Affairs. So the definition is any person who has changed his or her country of usual residence, distinguishing between short-term migrant, those who change the country for usual residence at least 3 months, and long-term migrant at least 1 year. So ये कुछ definition है, but as I said, not universal. May vary from country to country. Okay. I also want to bring in a category called refugees or IDP. Who's IDP? Internally displaced person. So a civil war is happening and something of that sort, and because of that displacement happens, so internally displaced people. They are separate from migrants. They are not considered under that. And I also said asylum seeker. Who's an asylum seeker? The Geneva Convention says, I think it is Geneva Convention, I may be wrong, please check करिएगा. Asylum पे कौन सी convention है? So if you feel that your life is threatened in a particular country, you can approach another country who is a signatory to that convention that in order to save my life, I want to come here, and that country may give you asylum for that. आपने कई बार लिखा होगा, कोई पेंटर, कोई राइटर, उस पर कुछ नाम उसने कर दिया, some work, and people are after his life. Yes, Salman Rushdie wrote that book Satanic Verse, and Muslim community went, उसमें जो है कुछ लोगों ने in the Muslim community went for this thing blasphemy, and उनके खिलाफ फतवा हो गया, जहाँ मिलेगा blasphemy सलमान रुश्दी को उड़ा दीजिए. True. So he seeked asylum in UK. आप बोल रहे हैं whistle blower, yes or no? So आपने WikiLeaks में भी देखा. So whistleblowers life स्वीडन में भी आपने देखा साइंस की बात. उसके बाद M.F. Hussain. You heard of the painter, legendary painter M.F. Hussain? So he was from India, but he did not die as an Indian citizen. He went to Qatar because some paintings he had done where he was, like offending the Hindu beliefs, and then he said that my life is threatened, so he left India. So culture, science, other things also, whistleblowers, as you rightly said, they can seek asylum. So there is this thing. So मैं कह रहा हूँ कि mobility is there, but mobility is regulated. Can I say mobility is regulated? Are you with me in that? Regulated mobility. But can there be a genuine need for mobility? Yes or no? True or not? Or migrants, as I said, it is a natural thing. I also want to tell you, migrants have contributed a lot. What do they contribute? They contribute to the economy. They contribute to the socio-cultural exchanges. Yes or no? They even contribute to the ecology of that area. Sometimes they're spreading the message of the nature conservation. True or not? Many things you would have seen, like बाहर से लोग आते हैं और बहुत सारा काम करते हैं and make things happen. Everyone with me on that? ये भी possible है या मैं ऐसे ही बोल रहा हूँ? सच में होता है ना? That's what we're talking about. So economy, social culture, ecology, politico-administrative. I'm talking about medieval. I was talking about Ibn Battuta. You have seen, travelers. You've seen various administrators जो आएंगे जिनसे काम किया जाएगा. और मुझे एक सबसे बड़ी बात लगती है, migrant. Practical thing which I'm talking about is एक बहुत बड़ा workforce का role अदा करते हैं. Big role in workforce. Yes or no? Where? At the source region also and the destination also. True or not? Source region, destination region, political, administrative, strategic, they have a big role to play. Migrants have created many things. True? So I think migrant should be seen from a bigger perspective, and migration should be seen from another bigger perspective, where I would want to see migration more as an issue of mobility. Do we get that? चलिए, पिछले 50 साल में माइग्रेशन हुआ है या नहीं हुआ? So remember we were talking about spatial analysis. My question was spatially analyze the contemporary international migration. अच्छा, ये मेरा question था, contemporary international migration. If that question comes, the question which I asked you, what is the meaning of this contemporary? कहाँ से शुरू करोगे? Where would you start? Everyone who's listening to me, where would you start the study of migration if that comes? Contemporary migration, where would you start? What is the meaning of a question called contemporary migration? So I'll start from 2000. Okay. What else? Contemporary का मतलब क्या? So post independence. Somebody said post independence, but मैं तो international की बात कर रहा हूँ, मैं तो इंडिया की बात ही नहीं कर रहा हूँ. So recent means 30 to 50 years. तो ये recent वाला debate भी clear कर देना चाहता हूँ everyone. If a question comes on recent or contemporary, what does that mean? Recent और contemporary का मतलब क्या है? मैं ये भी clear कर देना चाहता हूँ. So if you get a question on examine the recent orogenies in the world, which one will you talk of? Recent orogenies in the world. Answer is Alpine orogeny, Rockies, Andes, Himalayas, Alps. Recent means this. Himalaya कब बना है? 30 million years. True. So अभी तो आप बोलोगे post independent. Will the word recent depend on the question or not? Will the word depend on that or not? So recent migration when I'm talking about. Well, I have an ancient time when migration was happening. I'm saying Greeks also. I told you about all those writers. They were travelers. They had access to travelers. Medieval. I said Arabs were travelers. Arabs were travelers. Yes or no? Can I say even the age of exploration is actual movement? Age of exploration, again movement. Colonialization, again movement of people, army, slaves, everything happened on. So migration to ye hai bhai. If you are looking at migration and if you come to the word recent migration, I would choose when the colonialization is over, when World War I is there, World War II is there, and post World War II, when world defined two things: either you are a legal migrant if you have papers, if you don't have papers, you are illegal migrant because यहाँ पर documents शुरू हो गए. True or not? And third category, you are a refugee. Suddenly, without giving answer to recent, just by bringing this debate, is my class now smart enough? What is the meaning of recent? सिर्फ इतनी सी बात करनी है. All the students are smart. If the teacher is able to do that, otherwise what happens is teacher gives a date. इसके आगे recent है, इसके पीछे वो. अरे भाई, depends on the question, no? Recent will change. Recent will change. If I'm talking about geological phenomena, millions of years are recent, billions are old. True or not? For other things, if I'm looking at socio-political, geopolitical things across the world, I think World War II, probably 20th century is okay. 20th century के migration. Yes or no? मुझे लगता है कि World War I में यूरोप में बहुत migration हुआ होगा. True or not? Because of the war. Colonialization में I believe slave trade was a big time. Slave trade, 17th and 18th century. I also believe that the New World migration. First the Europeans went. Yes or no? First the Europeans went to the New World. So Europe to North America, Europe to Latin America, yes, Europe to Australia. बड़ा migration है यार, मेरे लिए तो बहुत बड़ा phase है. True or not? After that they decided to bring the people to work in the colonies. Yes or no? First colonialization. So can I say Europeans and their armies, European citizens, armies, was it a big movement or not? तो देखो spatio-temporal होने में कोई बुरी बात नहीं है. अभी your understanding of migration is very general. But I'm giving you something. The New World was, you know that around the 16th century, 17th century, we were able to explore the New World. Age of exploration was over, and then colonization began. You know that Britishers came to India also. 18th century में आ गए थे कि नहीं Britishers? 18th century में they were here. Britishers तो European side का. ठीक है? अच्छा, उससे पहले भी तो सर Mughals had come and all those things. तो वो है, वो medieval है. Ancient medieval को I will not consider as contemporary. Ancient medieval, I'm not interested in considering them as contemporary. I'm not even considering colonialism as contemporary. But I'm saying the roots of contemporary migration can be seen somewhere, because migration is an age-old phenomenon. Human beings migrated out of Africa. To a serious student who wants examination में marks and who wants a concept clarity, he would understand what this word recent means. So recent के तो अलग ही मतलब है. Do we get that? So if you ask me, sir, where should you begin? I would say you should begin somewhere from the World War period. In fact, World War II के बाद is recent for me. World War II के बाद is recent for me. Yeah, depending on the nature of the question, take a call over there and you can very well come to a conclusion. Is everyone with me on this? If you have any question, please ask. यदि आपके पास कोई प्रश्न है तो केवल पूछें. So European citizens and armies were migrating. Where were they migrating? To the New World. Today, remember my question was spatial, no? That is why I'm talking all this. Everyone who's studying migration, उसको ये पता होना चाहिए. यहाँ से निकलते हैं. This is the journey of Marco Polo. Ancient times, तो पुराने हो गए. Remember यहाँ मोरक्को से निकलेंगे Ibn Battuta and all that. We are not talking about that. We're talking about Europeans moving out. Europeans went to this North America. Spain, Portugal went to this. They took this route. They reached India also. Yes, they reached this place also, and they reached Australia also. Is everyone with me? So what happens? The Europeans reach over there. Who are the original people over here? We call them the Red Indians, or sometimes Indians. So Indians don't mean from India. If you see in the context of Americas, if somebody is saying the native Indians, so these are native Indians, native people. And why are we calling them Indians? Remember Columbus, he was going to find out India, और उसको मिल गया ये. True. So Red Indians. And I also told you the deterministic idea that people in the east, rising sun, Chinese people are called yellow people. फिर यहाँ पे sun overhead आ जाता है तो ये लोग white हो जाते हैं. And here sunset, remember reddish color, इसलिए Red Indian हो गए. Some stupid deterministic ideas. Remember climatic determinism, Huntington, if you remember from that time. So climate determines our skin color or something like that. Perfect. So now I want to tell you first the Europeans moved. When they moved themselves and they moved their armies also. But they wanted labor. So then they came up with an amazing idea. Ekdam Mentos idea. That Africans are, dark colored people are like animals to be treated like slaves. Slaves को लेकर मारपीट के जबरदस्ती. And they were working for them in these Caribbean islands and everywhere. Yes, sir. And ill-treated, inhuman. Yes, 1882, I guess, slavery was abolished. Slavery was abolished. And these people were said, okay, now you are free. You live wherever you want to. Get that? Late 19th century, slavery was abolished. And these people were said, okay, we have been inhuman. अब आपको जहाँ रहना है उधर रह लो. If you want to go back to Africa, we send you also. So they said, where would we go? अब तो हमारा कोई नहीं है. Remember I told you about two countries. Either Freetown is the capital. Liberia and Sierra Leone. Liberia is for liberated slave. Sierra Leone, the capital is Freetown. So they said, अच्छा जाना है उधर चले जाओ. But the Africans said, North America में हम तो यहीं रहेंगे. This is called the Dixieland. So आपने US elections, if you were ever following US election, Barack Obama and all that election, it was considered that this is the area that will vote for this. तो यहाँ पे एक black population एक अच्छा chunk यहाँ पर मिलता है. Do we get that? अच्छा Caribbeans में भी थे and they were also here. So plantation crops, yes, plantation crops and all that. So they were into agricultural labor. Now what happens is when slavery is stopped, get it? So these people, the black people were very angry. They said, Chakka jam, ab to hum kaam nahi karenge. We will not work for you. They said, no, slavery is over. We will give you money. Ab you have the rights, but please work in our farms. They said, no. As a revenge, we will not work. Chal be na ekdam lal salam. Now it's a big problem. Such huge plantations, such huge investments, and how do we run without labor? Labor shortage ho gaya. Challenge or not? It's a serious issue. Now there is a labor shortage over here. How do we deal with it? So they came up with an idea. Their largest colony was India. Bihar mein, they went over there. And they asked people from Bihar, काम पे चलोगे? We will take you. And there was rampant poverty, very bad state in India. Yes or no? Under colonial regime. They said, we'll give you food. They said, food. They said, food, lodging, everything you do, we will take you over there. This is called the indentured labor. A contract was signed with them, which is called an indenture. It is a one-way contract. So you can't do slavery officially. It is like semi-slavery. So indenture says that we will take you for a job. We will put you somewhere. You will have the food and some rights over there, nothing else. बंधुआ मजदूर मान लीजिए, जो भी मान लीजिए, बंधुआ मजदूर is actually slavery. So this was not slavery, you have a contract. Legal slavery, you can say that. So people were, as it is dying, they said, अच्छा साहब, जो जहाँ ले चलो. So where did they take them? They take them to their plantations. So यहाँ पर आया, आपने सुना होगा Fiji, Caribbean islands में लेकर आए. इधर Georgetown, Guyana, यहाँ पे बहुत Indians हैं. Yes, no? इनको क्या कहा जाता है? Indentured labor. So that's a big phase of migration, global migration. Indians started moving around. Their colonizers, उन्होंने कहा ठीक है, if the blacks are not doing, Indians will do. So Indians, did they do it? Well, they did it. Indians ने कहा हाँ ठीक है भाई मौका है तो. And I want to tell you, it was not easy. Many people died in the process. Suriname, Guyana, सब कुछ है. बिल्कुल है हर्ष, वहाँ पे 40% हिंदू हैं और मेरे ख्याल से if you look at their FM channel का भी नाम शायद गरुड़ है. If you go over here, the FM you listen to a lot of Bhojpuri over here. Bhojpuri, हिंदी गाने सब कुछ आते हैं. Fiji में भी बहुत है Indians. Do you get that? You would have heard the heads of the state, prime ministers, presidents, of Indian origin. But the problem was when they reached over there, the blacks had done chakka jam, and the Indians will come and do the work. Will the blacks feel offended or not? So Indians haven't shared very good relations with the blacks in these areas. तो वहाँ पे animosity हो गई उस वजह से. True or not? But anyways, many people died, and gradually wherever Indians go, and I said migrants are generally industrious people. तो लोग migrate करके आते हैं. They are the most vulnerable population. They are willing to do anything and everything to survive. And Indians are surviving. सब लोग बहुत अच्छे से सर्वाइव करना शुरू कर दिया. जब हो गया तो इधर पे फोन कर लिया. पहले तो अकेले आए थे, नाउ कॉल्ड अप बिहार. बहुत मजा आ रहा है. भौजी को भी ले आओ. पहले अकेले अकेले आ गए थे. कैसे? Then everyone moves. एक के बाद एक, and the trail goes. ऐसे ही आपने देखा, यहाँ से कौन निकला? उत्तर पंजाब, ये कनाडा में बेस बना के बैठ गए. ट्रू और नॉट? ऑस्ट्रेलिया बहुत लोग पहुंच गए. तो इट्स वेरी. सौरभ बोले खैनी लेकर आना, यहाँ मिलता नहीं है. नहीं सौरभ, हम खुद ही बना लेते हैं. डोंट वरी, सब अपना अपना चूरन बना लेते हैं. इंडियंस को पैकेट का वेट थोड़ी कर, खुद ही बना लेंगे. आई एम सेइंग और कोई स्किल हो ना हो, मसाला की स्किल इज ऑलवेज देयर. वी बेस्ट एट इट. शिवम से साउथ इंडिया इज कनेक्टेड. सो साउथ इंडिया वाज ऑलवेज कनेक्टेड. एक तो साउथ ईस्ट एशिया से था, बिल्कुल था. दिस कनेक्शन वाज ऑलवेज देयर बिकॉज़ इफ यू रीड हिस्ट्री, यू हर्ड ऑफ चोला एम्पायर. चोला एम्पायर के टाइम से ही मैरीटाइम ट्रेड कनेक्शन था. So that means South India has always enjoyed more mobility. I think South India always enjoyed more, what do I call it, diffusion of innovation coming in. North India that way was a little isolated and stagnant. वहीं बैठकर अपना ही ठिकुआ लिट्टी चोखा सब मजे से कर रहे थे, खुद ही कर रहे थे, है ना. लस्सी बना रहे थे, गन्ने का रस पी रहे थे. They were happy. They were least bothered. But South India that way has been seen a lot of influences, and that is why you would see that in South India innovation was adopted first. Their literacy rates and other things are much better compared to the North Indian Hindi-speaking belt, which is catching up. But you can see the early mover advantage, the mobility, the diffusion of innovation. The more ideas they come in a society, the more progressive the society becomes. The way and the day we stop new ideas from coming, that's the day when we are talking of decay in a society. Is everyone with me? Any question? यदि कोई प्रश्न है तो पूछें. With me? Clear? Perfect. So this is where we are looking at migration. यहाँ पे World War II के बाद क्या होता है? Many migrations are there. Did you hear of the creation of a new country called Israel? World War II के बाद creation of Israel. So the Nazi killing of the Jews, and Jews के लिए एक नया state बनाना है. True. I also believe one of the bloodiest partitions or migrations in the world, Indian partition. World War One है या two है ना? Movement of armies. World War में armies है सब. Big challenge happened at this time. मुझे लगता है क्रिएशन ऑफ बांग्लादेश इस टाइम में भी बहुत हुआ. उसके बाद इवेंट्स लाइक ईरान इराक वॉर, वेस्ट एशिया में बहुत फाइट रहा है. ट्रू. सो व्हेन यू आर राइटिंग द आंसर यू नीड टू टॉक अबाउट दैट. आज के फ्लैश पॉइंट्स अगर आप मुझसे पूछें, सीरिया इज अ फ्लैश पॉइंट, अफगानिस्तान इज अ फ्लैश पॉइंट. आई हैव ऑलवेज मेंट इराक हैज नेवर बीन इजी. रोहिंग्यास, म्यांमार, और ये तो अभी तक था. अब जो 2022 के उसमें आ जाएगा, व्हिच इज नॉट कम इन द रिपोर्ट्स टिल नाउ, यूक्रेन विल जॉइन द पार्टी. True or not? So tell me, for the question which was spatially analyze the contemporary international migration, now do you have something or not? Whatever you were thinking, आप general answer सोच रहे थे. You were thinking more of general answer, yes or no? So I want you to think a little more on that, and now you have a lot of data support also with you. Chali. So I have something for you. The current global estimate is that there are around 281 million. 3.6%. Oh, ये बहुत अच्छी बात है. Everyone please pay attention that only a very small amount of people are migrants in the world. Not many. Means that staying in one's own country is what is your generally belief. People want to stay in their own country. While many country, safe country, and I also believe your country is the best country. You have all the rights. You feel the best over there, and you should be there in your country. But as I said, there are places, there are times where you have to migrate. Yes, so अगर मुझे अच्छी education के लिए कहीं पर जाना है, higher education, and I see there is a lot of limited scope over there. अभी NEET PG पर भी ruling आया Supreme Court का, so you can see especially medical seats are very limited. So if I get a chance to go abroad and do that, and I'm not saying like the debate which came that people are going to Ukraine and ये देखो सब कांग्रेस सरकारों की वजह से कॉलेज नहीं अब इंडिया में खुलेंगे. That's not the issue. I think there are people who've been migrating to Central Asia and former Soviet this thing for medicine. It was never considered a very reputed and a high standard medical studies over there, but it was one traditional route which was there. People were doing that. Higher studies के लिए जा सकते हैं. I would say there are better universities to go in the world, so that should be allowed. There should be exams. Doing my MBA, doing my engineering, doing my technology from there, it should not be that costly. But unfortunately, it is very very costly. Yes or no? उसके साथ में और क्या हो गया? COVID restrictions आ गए. So that interconnections, migration, mobility. You saw many people who were doing medicine in China. Indians वो चाइनीज कॉलेज में वापस नहीं जा पाए. तो मेरी समझ में चाइना में क्या करने गया है मेडिसिन करने के लिए. चाइना ही मिला था. सोचो. बट ठीक है, मिल गया. आप किसी के दिमाग में आगे तो रोक तो सकते हैं ना कि भाई चाइना से कर रहा है. So that is also there. So you can't stop there. Everyone with me on this? Perfect. So what are we talking about? We are talking about okay, perfect. यहाँ पे आंसर लेसर एक्सपेंसिव एज कंपेयर टू प्राइवेट मेडिकल कॉलेजेस इन इंडिया. हर्ष मत पूछ यार, सच में प्राइवेट कॉलेजेस बहुत ज्यादा चार्ज करते हैं. ट्रू. लोग कॉस्ट बेनिफिट के लिए जा रहे हैं, बट आई वुड से लाइक द कंट्री डिजर्व्स फाइन मेडिकल प्रोफेशनल्स, नॉट अबाउट मनी. व्हाई शुड इट बी एन इन्वेस्टमेंट रिलेटेड थिंग? सो पिछले 50 साल में दिखाना चाहता हूं एवरीवन. लास्ट 50 years आई वांट टू शो यू द नंबर हैज नॉट चेंज्ड मच. जस्ट 1% का फर्क है. As I said, mobility has increased. Mobility has increased in the world with coming of cheaper airfare and all those airlines. Mobility तो बिल्कुल अच्छा हुआ है, no doubt about that. Mobility has increased, but otherwise, what we can say is that things are still in favor of those. Everyone with me on this? चलिए, तो अभी कहाँ पर हैं, कैसा वो है, वो भी ब्रेकअप आपको दिखा देता हूँ. 281 million people are there. So this is latest data. 2020 है, 2022 रिपोर्ट. यूएनडेसा आईएमओ वाली जो रिपोर्ट है, सॉरी इंटरनेशनल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन फॉर माइग्रेशन आईओएम की जो रिपोर्ट है, आई एम यूजिंग दैट. फीमेल्स 135 million international female migrants globally and 3.5% of the world's female population. So you can see even females are migratory, but men are more migratory. Labor migrants बहुत सारे तो इसमें लेबर के लिए जा रहे हैं. True or not? Labor you will find West Asia and other places. So many people from India migrate to West Asia. Is everyone with me on this? Are we clear? चलिए. So data is there. Now, I would want you to compare 2020 or 2022 की reports. The two reports, what is the difference? Can you see the migrants increased? I think that was also COVID time. जो report थी. So things are a little different over there. Can I say that the things are a little different over there? Yes. Estimated female and male, we are looking at this region with highest proportion of migrants. International migrant region with highest proportion in percentage terms. Oceania. Country with highest proportion of international migrants. ये UAE है. Percentage of total, not absolute number. Percentage of total UAE. दुबई, शारजा, अबू धाबी, वो बहुत से लोगों को बाहर से अलाउ करते हैं. In terms of number, USA आ जाएगा. ठीक है. Number of migrants, worker, global remittances. You can see how much global remittances are coming. ये देखिए, कोविड की वजह से, restrictions की वजह से बहुत मूवमेंट नहीं हो रहा था. See the shift in the global remittances. $700 billion. So that's a big number. Number of refugees का number बढ़ा है. And you can see, like especially there are flashpoints. We'll look at that also. And IDPs. So refugees is a number, IDP is a number. I hope you understand. And apart from that, we have the international migrants. You have the data for you. COVID-19 radically altered mobility. COVID-19 has become a seismic global event. The scale of international migration increased, although at a reduced rate due to COVID. So, उसके बाद जब COVID restrictions have eased, we see that it has again, coming back. The last 2 years saw a major migration and displacement event, even that caused greater hardships as well as loss of life. And where were the countries? Flashpoint, everyone. Syria, Yemen, Central African Republic, Democratic Republic of Congo, Sudan. Severe economic and political instability. Where इधर तो conflict है. Everyone, you have this is your homework. Everyone, homework. What is the homework? Let me tell you. Migration, flashpoints, migration, destination and source, migration, flow, corridors. Plot on a world map. Possible? 3 things. Flashpoints. Did I tell you these are the flashpoints? Conflict related, political, economic stability, Venezuela, Afghanistan, अब यूक्रेन भी आ जाएगा. Yes. Say for example, political, administrative, civil war, economic crisis. These are flashpoints. नाम लिखने हैं. Show them on the map. They should be shown on the map also. Then what are we looking at? After that, you can look at destination and source. Which are the main destinations? Which are the main source? So destination, we will put them as plus and source will be minus. Is it okay? We can put some numbers also. I want to tell you the biggest destination is US. Biggest source is India. Flow corridors. So there we will make arrows. भाई इधर से इधर जाता है. ठीक है. Do you know about north to south migration? South north migration. North north migration. South south migration. Is everyone okay? Archie saying China नहीं बेटा India. So what is north south? अच्छा, if I want you to compare, किसमें ज़्यादा होगा, north to south or south to north? I hope you can understand this is with the idea of Brent line, developed and developing. South to north will be there. Yes, but I want to tell you south to south बहुत हो रहा है. अफ्रीका में फ्री मूवमेंट की बात चल रही है. अफ्रीकन कंट्रीज आर कमिंग अक्रॉस एज अ कंबाइंड इकोनॉमिक जोन. पूरा का पूरा उसमें जो है फ्री इकोनॉमिक करना चाहते हैं सो दैट पीपल कैन मूव अक्रॉस अफ्रीका. हैव यू हर्ड ऑफ माइग्रेंट बर्ड्स? मुझे ये बहुत अच्छे लगते हैं यार. माइग्रेंट बर्ड्स, एनिमल्स एंड दिस थिंग. कोई पासपोर्ट नहीं, कोई वीजा नहीं. बट आर दे वल्नरेबल और नॉट? इनका कोई माई बाप भी नहीं है. आर दे वल्नरेबल? दे कैन बी हंटेड, दे कैन बी शॉट एट. यस, इनको बचाने के लिए हमारे पास क्या है? बॉर्न कन्वेंशन. उसको वायलेट करने में क्या लगेगा? एक शॉटगन लिया, बॉर्न गया, तेल लेने, हाँ फायर. ट्रू, कानून तो कानून है. I'm saying south migration is a big phenomenon. So people migrating to India, people from Bangladesh, people from Nepal, Sri Lanka migrating to India, which category? South आएगा कि नहीं आएगा? So if India is a destination, if India is a source, India is also a destination. If Russia is a source, Russia is also a destination for all the CIS countries. Think about it. वो connection होता है ना, umbilical cord होता है. आपने सुना Commonwealth? Commonwealth वो है जो British colonies थे. Commonwealth of British colony. So I think the colonizers being the British, the French, the Dutch, their colony people still come to Europe if they want to migrate. और वो कई तरह के कॉमनवेल्थ भी बनाए. दे हैव क्रिएटेड देयर कॉमनवेल्थ, दे डू अलाउ देम प्रेफरेंशियल ट्रीटमेंट. सो यूरोप एज अ कॉन्टिनेंट हैज रिसीव्ड द मैक्सिमम नंबर ऑफ माइग्रेंट्स इन द लास्ट 50 years. ट्रू, वी गेट दैट. तो colonial connection you can see, socio economic connection you can see. So yesterday we were talking about, तो ये सारी चीजें रहेंगी आपके पास. Keep them in mind. A smart student would do that. Is everyone with me on this? क्या आप मेरे साथ हैं? अगर आप बने हुए हैं तो बहुत अच्छी बात है. Okay, where are we? हाँ जी, मोबिलिटी का क्या रहा? कोविड ने रेस्ट्रिक्शन कर दिया, मोबिलिटी रेस्ट्रिक्शन, बट आईडीपी इंक्रीज्ड. गेट दैट? पैसेंजर्स, देयर वाज अ मेजर डिक्लाइन, 4.5 बिलियन डिक्लाइन हो गया. इंटरनली डिस्प्लेस्ड पीपल अनफॉर्चुनेटली वर स्टिल मोर इंटरनल डिस्प्लेस्ड बिकॉज ऑफ डिजास्टर एंड कॉन्फ्लिक्ट. सो डिजास्टर कैन बी क्लाइमेट डिजास्टर. आई होप यू कैन अंडरस्टैंड क्लाइमेट डिजास्टर. अच्छा, अभी आपने सुना एक वोल्केनो हुआ, वोल्केनो इन द पैसिफिक आइलैंड. यस नो? सो पीपल विल बी इवैक्यूएटेड फ्रॉम देयर. स्पेन में भी वोल्केनो आया पिछली बार. सो वो क्या होंगे? डिस्प्लेस्ड पीपल बिकॉज ऑफ डिजास्टर. और कॉन्फ्लिक्ट में कौन होगा? Sudan is a conflict region. Syria is a conflict region. Do we get that? So वो भी high हुआ. So जो COVID restrictions are also there, mobility restrictions are also there, and people are still caught in that sad thing or not? Seriously bad. तो दुख तो है सभी को. Yes or no? Will there be challenges or not? So there are serious challenges to this whole issue. I hope you understand the big picture on this. ठीक है? Okay, where are we placed now? और देखा जाए refugees का क्या status है? 26.4 million refugees globally. 89.4 million people are living in displacement globally, include refugees, asylum seeker, displaced, Venezuelans and IDPs. Is everyone okay? So displaced persons की सारी categories है. Asylum seekers, 4.1 million people have applied for asylum. Displaced Venezuela, तो Venezuelan एक category बनाई उन्होंने, displaced globally, not including those who were refugees. So Venezuelans were pushed out because of that serious economic crisis that was happening. और अभी भी जिस तरह से economic crisis हो रहे हैं, it is believed that any time in many African countries, we can start witnessing a civil war over there. IDPs are there. अब ऐसे में is the world prepared, everyone? First of all, is the world prepared? And is the world welcoming? ये हुआ था यूरोप का ग्रीस क्राइसिस. Have you heard of Greece migration crisis? Where we saw pictures of dead bodies, dead young child on the beach. People trying to swim across the Mediterranean Sea, land on the Greek coast. Especially Turkey में जब वो चल रहा था military coup and everything. Yes, Europe has given money to Turkey. Europe has given money to Turkey to keep the people who were trying to migrate to Europe stay in Turkey. Europe is giving them money कि भाई इधर मत आने दो. We understand, पैसा भी दे रहे, संभालो आप लोग. Big challenge or not? Everyone. So think about it. These are very, very big challenges which the world community is facing nowadays. Everyone with me on this? So if you are with me on this, so this is the situation that we are facing, an unprecedented situation. जिसका समाधान मुझे दिखाई नहीं देता, आपको दिखाई दे रहा है? Can you see a solution? World Sun Frontiers. World Suns, SANS, Suns Frontiers. A world without frontiers. Ideal dream. You know what? I think as a teacher, my job is to plant dreams. True or not? So this is ideal. This cannot happen. Who knows? Tomorrow you are in power. You can't even think of an idea that world can be there without frontiers. There can be movement of Ibn Battuta. There can be movement of you and I across borders. Glib, smooth movement. Possible. Emergency movement. I want to tell you, urban area में मैंने कई बार देखा है, मेरे ही सेक्टर में यहाँ पे गेट लगा है, यहाँ पे गेट लगा है, and you can enter only through this. In between also people have made gated colonies. At times emergency happens and an ambulance comes, doesn't know where and how to reach. True or not? Today you and I look at each other with suspicion. Competition has killed the idea of collaboration, cooperation. True or not? Add to it, our leaders are seeding suspicion in our minds about each other. True or not? Sad thing. घरों को बंद कर दो, ये दरवाजे लगा दो, कोई भी आ जाएगा आपको मार सकता है. सोचिए, आप भी तो बड़े हुए हैं, बचपन में ऐसे थे, हर जगह पे गेट्स लगे हुए थे. द मोर कंफर्ट्स व्हिच हैव कम, मेरे पास बाइक है वो चोरी हो सकती है, कार है वो भी चोरी हो सकती है, हर चीज बंद हो सकती है. डू यू नो ऑफ टाइम्स वेयर इंडियंस वुड नॉट लॉक देयर हाउस? ट्रू. इज दिस डेवलपमेंट? इज दिस व्हाट वी आर लुकिंग फॉर? आई ऑलवेज आस्क दिस क्वेश्चन. यही डेवलपमेंट चाहिए? तो सिर्फ यही नहीं, एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन में भी people are divided on caste line, communal lines. Mistrust has become a rule. Mistrust has become a rule. गुरु शिष्य परंपरा सोचता भी नहीं हूं मैं. अब I don't. I seriously don't. So I was, like there's a student who wrote a bad answer and I commented on that. So she shared this thing with her friends, and the friend, she shared that post with me कि आपने comment दिया, my friend is an evaluator in some coaching institute, and he says इतना बुरा आंसर है, टीचर क्यों इतना सेंटी हो रहा है यार? Why is this teacher, like unnecessarily being so interested in your performance? I'm saying, first of all, your so-called friend is just a evaluator. महात्मा गांधी नरेगा में नौकरी कर रहा है, वो भी एग्जाम उसका पास नहीं हुआ, उसने टिक करना सीखा है. I just thought that the student has potential. ये बहुत इंटरेस्ट ले रहा है यार, ये फ्रस्ट्रो है यार. Imagine. And then you think student-teacher relation. वो कल एक स्टूडेंट फोन कर रहा है, सर मेरी तैयारी ठीक है सर, इसकी तैयारी में मदद करवा दो. जब मेरा ब्रेक ऑफ हो गया सर, कुछ उसमें मदद करवा दो. एग्जाम को कोई पता ही नहीं. सब मजा आ रहा है उनकी क्लास में, मजा ही ले रहा है. वर्ल्ड विदाउट फ्रंटियर्स. somebody said सर इतना पैसा नहीं सर, इट इज नॉट अफोर्डेबल. जिगरा होना चाहिए यार. 56 इंच वाला ट्राई करो इफ यू आर अ फैन. 52-53 तो ट्राई करो. इफ इट इज नॉट गोइंग 56, थोड़ा ट्राई करो. 52-53 इंच कुछ तो पॉसिबिलिटी शुड बी देयर. Complex issues. What are the issues with migration? Migration, mobility, migrants, big challenge. Peace and security. True or not? Migration as a step ladder to opportunity. So somebody said, can we have regional imbalances going away? No. But does it gives you opportunities and choices? The deserving people, can they grab them? होना तो चाहिए ना, अवसर तो होना चाहिए. That is human development. True or not? Disinformation about migration. अब आज की डेट में माइग्रेंट को एक अब्यूज बना दिया गया. True or not? अरे तो माइग्रेंट है, ये देखो सारे बांग्लादेशी आ गए यहाँ पर. True or not? क्या है? आप बताइए, इंडियंस आर द बिगेस्ट कंट्रीब्यूटर टू ग्लोबल माइग्रेशन. तो क्या एक माइग्रेंट चोर है? Why is migrant seen as a derogatory word? What is wrong? That's the sad part. Very sad. Migration and slow onset of climate change. साथ में ये ऐड कर दो, climate refugees. So tell me, everyone who's writing about contemporary migrations, आपके पास point है या नहीं? These are going to really make a huge difference. Human trafficking हो रहा है, prostitution, sex trade, बच्चों का trade, children are being traded, migration pathways. And whenever legal mechanisms, legal channels are closed, remember legal channels are becoming difficult. So which ones will open up? Illegal ones will open up. Illegal ones में exploitation और होता है. But I also want to tell you one more interesting thing has happened. Surveillance has improved because of IT, retina scan, passport, everything. So अभी क्या होता है, गवर्नमेंट सीधा आपको पकड़ सकती है. Government has more control. Governments have more control. एंड गवर्नमेंट्स आपको कुछ भी पकड़ने के चक्कर में आप चुप रहे, डर रहे, एंड उस वजह से क्या हो रहा है, फिर आपका एक्सप्लॉइटेशन हो रहा है. एंड नो गवर्नमेंट इज विलिंग टू मेक दोस ह्यूमैनिटेरियन लॉस. एंड दे आर इन फैक्ट इनसाइटिंग पीपल कि हाँ भैया ये माइग्रेंट है मारो. थिंक अबाउट इट. ऑल द ग्रोइंग अप, ऑल द स्टोरीज दैट यू रेड, माइथोलॉजी, स्क्रिप्चर्स, एवरीवेयर, कोई मुश्किल में हो तो उसकी मदद की जाती है कि नहीं की जाती? इज दैट व्हाट इंडियन माइथोलॉजी फिलोसफी इज अबाउट? हेल्प अ पर्सन इन नीड. ट्रू और नॉट? वो है ना, रहीम का दोहा है, रहीमन में नर मर गए जे कहूं मांगन जाए. So people who go begging from others, those people are dead. A person who has to go and beg for something, किसी से हेल्प लेनी पड़े, वो तो मर चुका है. So Rahim says the person who goes seeking help is dead. But he says उनसे पहले वही मरे जिनमुख निकसत नहीं. But before that person dies the person who says no, I will not help you. So he says help seeker dies. Help seeker dies. But before that, with shame should die the person who does not help him. Do we live in that society? We mind our own business. अरे मर रहा है अच्छा है, ये सुनो. migrations contributions globally. Please understand, it is a virtue. World has become a better place because of these migrants. They carried ideas across and they enriched the ideas. चलिए, आपका आंसर है spatial analysis. When international migrations are examined by UN, Europe is currently the largest destination. Is everyone okay? Last 50 years में Europe is currently the largest destination. 2020 की बात कर रहा हूँ. Last 20 years का मैंने आपके लिए लाकर दे दिया. You don't have to go anywhere for this thing. Followed by Asia, 87 million, and this thing. North America is destination for this thing. North America is the destination for 59 million, and followed by Africa. So if you ask me, Europe, Asia, North America, and Africa. Over the past 15 years, the number of international migrants in Latin America and Caribbean has more than doubled. Latin America में क्या हो गया? Double हो गया, making this region as the highest growth rate of international migration. Latin America में maximum होते जा रहा है, ठीक है? Around 9 million international migrants live in Oceania. Oceania में 9 million है. Oceania has the largest share of international migrants. So in percentage terms, the largest percentage of migrant population is in Oceania. So I want to tell you, Oceania are islands. So जो वहाँ के natives हैं, वो तो बेचारे वहाँ पे रहते ही नहीं है. Natives are as it is not living over there. So it is the non-natives which are coming. So that I can understand. America has the second largest share of percentage in percentage terms. After that, America comes. Is everyone? Fastest growth rate is in Caribbean. So do you have data for the trends? Spatial analysis. As a country, US, Germany, Saudi Arabia. So Saudi? Remember, Saudi Arabia is the headquarter for Islam और सोशो-कल्चरल रीजन्स. जाएंगे कि नहीं जाएंगे? उसके बाद यहाँ पर एक और चीज आ गई है, ऑयल. सो वर्कर्स, विल दे गो ओवर देयर और नॉट? सो एशिया में Saudi Arabia becomes a very very big source point. रशिया में, I hope you can understand, Russian Federation, they will move around. So रशिया के ही लोग उसमें move out होंगे. So that is what we are talking about. In the past 50 years, USA is the highest number, second is Germany, then Saudi Arabia. So resources were in abundance at time, and now population burden is there. Yes, Harsh, you're absolutely correct. Source of migration to Asia and regions, or does that include within Asia? Harsh, it definitely includes within Asia. No? When we are talking about migrant and we are saying Asia is the second largest, 86 million. So please understand, there are international boundaries. No? That is where I went for the definition right in the beginning. Asia doesn't mean that you have to go out of Asia to be a migrant. Within Asia, अगर बांग्लादेश से कोई इंडिया आता है, a person who has changed his or her country of usual residence. Do we get that? Asia में the continent is the largest. So within that there are so many countries. तो कितने लोग चाइना में migrate हो जाएंगे, कुछ इंडिया में migrate हो जाएंगे, yes or no? So that is why I hope you understand that. Russian Federation, I told you, CIS में, और UK जिनका कॉमनवेल्थ है, कहाँ से आ रहा है? इंडिया, मेक्सिको, रशिया ही सोर्स भी है, रशिया डेस्टिनेशन भी. हाउ कम? So from Russia, you will find that from Russia, as new states were created, some people went over there. But because Russia is the strongest economy, they will move back to Russia also. So Russia is source and this thing also. अच्छा, इंडिया तो है ही, 18 million people living abroad. India has the highest diaspora. और मैं आपको बताना चाह रहा हूँ, मेक्सिको को तो कितने लोग, how many people are using Mexico as an entry point to US? US तो allow कर नहीं रहा है. US is not allowing. Mexico allows that. So Mexico में आप पाएंगे कि बहुत से लोग, even Ukrainians, Russians ये पहुंचेंगे इधर से via this route. Asians ये पहुंचेंगे इधर से. Yes, और यहीं पर ये जो लैटिन अमेरिका है और सेंट्रल अमेरिका है, कोलंबियंस, ठीक है, वेनेजुएलन्स, दे ऑल विल ट्राई टू एंटर यूएसए थ्रू दिस रूट. सो व्हाट टर्की इज टू यूरोप, रिमेंबर टर्की, व्हाट टर्की इज टू यूरोप, सेम मेक्सिको इज टू यूएसए. डू वी गेट दैट? अच्छा, यूएसए में लेबर चाहिए, सब कुछ चाहिए, तो यहाँ पे मूव होगा. एंड इफ यू हैव हर्ड ऑफ दिस थिंग, नाफ्टा आल्सो, नॉर्थ अमेरिका फ्री ट्रेड एग्रीमेंट, सो कनाडा, यूएसए एंड मेक्सिको. सो उस वजह से भी दे फाउंड दैट अपॉर्चुनिटी एंड दैट इज हैपनिंग. रशियन फेडरेशन इज थर्ड, चाइना इज फोर्थ, the fifth most, this thing is Syrian Arab Republic. So Syria कैसे इतना बड़ा हो रहा है? You can see over 8 million people. Many are refugees. Syria में जो bombing हुई है, that has been a very painful chapter in history, and these things have continued. Is everyone with me on this? Question है तो पूछिए, otherwise आगे बढ़ते हैं. Lily saying, sir, why in Africa? Why in Africa मतलब अफ्रीका में क्यों नहीं माइग्रेशन होगा? अभी तो बताया आपको, पूरे अफ्रीका में. सो अरब स्प्रिंग देखा आपने, कहां पर देखा? इजिप्ट में. इजिप्ट में प्रॉब्लम होगी तो आएगा. यहाँ आपने सूडान देखा, सूडान में पॉलिटिकल क्राइसिस हुआ, ऐसा. तो अभी तो यहाँ पे लिखे थे सूडान में पॉलिटिकल क्राइसिस है. सोमालिया में खाने की शॉर्टेज है, तो सोमालिया के लोग मूव करेंगे कि नहीं करेंगे? सूडान में होगा तो मूव करेंगे या नहीं करेंगे? अभी यहाँ पर आपने देखा चैड में, नाइजीरिया में बोको हराम, इतना टेररिज्म एंड ऑल दोस थिंग्स, बिग चैलेंज है. अच्छा, यहाँ पे जो सुंदर पॉइंट है, मतलब इन द सेंस की विच इज कंसिडर्ड सेफ हेवन, साउथ अफ्रीका है या नहीं है? केप टाउन एंड ऑल दैट, तो दे विल ट्राई एंड माइग्रेट ओवर देयर. अंगोला, युगांडा, बुरुंडी, अभी आपने देखा है कॉन्गो में क्राइसिस चल रहा है. अभी तो स्टार्टिंग में आप ध्यान नहीं दे रहे थे, मैंने तो बताया था आपको. कॉन्फ्लिक्ट कहाँ पर है? सीरिया, यमन, सेंट्रल अफ्रीकन रिपब्लिक, डेमोक्रेटिक रिपब्लिक ऑफ कॉन्गो. यस, सो देयर आर थिंग्स व्हिच आई हैव इंक्लूडेड, मे बी यू वर नॉट पेइंग अटेंशन टू दैट. चलो, इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग ये तो हो गया, कंट्रीज भी हो गया. विल दिस हेल्प यू इन योर होमवर्क? यू डोंट हैव टू गो एनीवेयर, डेटा मैंने आपको दे दिया, चलेगा? द होमवर्क इज टू बी डन, द डेटा इज विद यू. इज एवरीवन ओके? नाउ द नेक्स्ट थिंग वाज कॉरिडोर्स, व्हिच आर द इंपॉर्टेंट कॉरिडोर. मेक्सिको यूएस कॉरिडोर, समझ में आ गया। सीरिया टर्की कॉरिडोर, रिमेंबर सीरिया से दे वांट टू कम टू टर्की। इंडिया यूएई इज अ कॉरिडोर, दुबई सब जाना चाहते हैं। रशिया यूक्रेन इज अ कॉरिडोर, रशिया यूक्रेन, यूक्रेन रशिया। कहते हैं इंडिया यूएसए, सोचो हम लोग अगर ये मैप बनेगा ना इंडिया का, तो अपना किधर जा रहा है, अपना जा रहा है इधर यूएई, अपना उधर भी जा रहा है, यूएसए भी जा रहा है, ये सुनो। इंडिया सऊदी अरेबिया, ये देखो सऊदी अरेबिया भी जाएगा। बांग्लादेश से इंडिया सर अपने पास भी आता है सर, बांग्लादेश टू इंडिया कॉरिडोर है। रशिया टू कजाकिस्तान, सो रशिया इज इन द सेंटर, दिस साइड इज यूक्रेन, दिस इज कजाकिस्तान, विल दे मूव और नॉट। चाइना टू यूएस, चाइना भी कम नहीं है भाई, इसके भी तो बहुत लोग यूएस जाते हैं चाइना से निकलकर। चाइना यूएस, पोलैंड जर्मनी, आर यू लिसनिंग अबाउट these two countries in the Ukraine crisis? पोलैंड एंड जर्मनी, फिलीपाइंस एंड यूएसए, एवरीवन विद मी? अगर इतना कर लो तो काम बन जाएगा। If you are with me, the job is done. So that is what I wanted everyone to see and realize. If you can do that, amazing things will happen. ठीक है? Any questions, please ask. Ukraine to Russia movement and that too vice versa also tells how much those culture and people are connected. Definitely they're connected. That is why even the Ukrainians are very surprised कि भाई ये पुतिन हमारे साथ ऐसा क्यों कर रहा है? True or not? And Putin is also hurt that how can you do this? How can you do this? आप तो मेरे कंट्री के साथ हैं. How can you plan to join NATO? तो वहां पर भी क्वेश्चन मार्क है नहीं everyone? I hope you understand that. Ukraine to Russia movement that is there. So corridors आपको बनाने. Age and gender भी देख लेते हैं. Age and gender. Most international migrants are working age. So generally economic reasons के लिए migration होता है. 15 to 64 since 1990 the share of international migrants age 19 and younger has dropped from 18% to 14%, while international migrants older than 64 has. So जो छोटे बच्चे होते हैं वो कम हो जाते हैं, but mostly working age population 78% is the young population. There is currently larger number of males than female. So males are more migrant. So one is males are migrant, young population is migrant. In 2000 the male and female split was 50 to 49, and 2020 the split is 52 to 48. You can see males have outnumbered female with a bigger margin. Share of female migrant is now decreasing since 2000, while the share of male migrant is this. So पहले तो मैं आपको बताना चाहता हूं, generally when we are talking about migration, it is the male population which is more migrant. We all know that male population is more migrant, we know that. Second thing which I want to tell you is, apart from that the males are more migrant, women generally migrate because of marriage. However, with third industrial revolution, which was IT related jobs, and fourth industrial revolution, which is about IoT, robotics and all that, girls who are doing well in that, you will see young professional women also traveling. However, with so many restrictions and safety issues, it has been seen that women travel has been a little less. Is everyone okay? आपके पास reasons भी है, analysis भी है. So that is what we are talking about. But with the increase of service sector, the girls have become more independent and they are moving, no doubt about that. तो ये आपका जिम्नास्टिक्स है. पहले देखिए कुछ 50 साल पहले, 20 years ago, almost similar, but here the gap has increased. So that is there. Everyone okay? Do we have a lot on migration? Can I end migration on this? Migration के maps बनाने हैं आपको, flow patterns बनाने हैं, time and space. So spatio-temporal analysis, try and do that. Spatio also, temporal also. Now you have temporal data also. You can use that also from these graphs if you want. Your notes will be updated on that also. Everyone with me on this? If any question, please tell me. अगर कोई प्रश्न है तो पूछें. Okay then, 2 minutes break. ठीक है, break ले लेते हैं. It's 13:23. Let's go for a break. 13:23 तो 1:30 तक break. Break till 1:30. 7 minutes का break. 1:30 पे मिलते हैं. ठीक है? Migration हो गया, उसके बाद social capital शुरू करेंगे. 7 minutes break. 1:30 I'll meet you. Now we've understood that. So some people have talked about migration as theories also. So let us understand them. Notebook, turn it around quickly. Turn your page around so that we can see something in that. So first of all, कई जगह पर ये नाम आएगा अपने आंसर में, you can use that. The first person to talk about migration was Ravenstein. Ravenstein's laws. This is not a theory. So laws of migration है 1870s में he had given that. 1870s में he talked about that. And they are more like commonsensical ideas. What are these? These are more commonsensical ideas than actual laws. So इनको laws कहना थोड़ा मुश्किल होगा, but they are more like commonsensical ideas which were very much there. Is everyone with me on this? So what are these commonsensical ideas? Let us understand them also. So number one is, say for example, I'm just giving you a statement. Most migrants are males, and the biggest reason for migration is economic reason. Okay. Then migrations are mostly short distance. People don't migrate immediately to long ones. They are short distance, and can I say they are short distance more migration. So migrant population is inversely proportional to distance. Less distance, more migrants. More distance, less migrants. Is everyone with me on this? Everyone clear? तो ये भी हो गया हमारे पास. और आगे बढ़ते हैं. So where are we? Yeah, we are here. Just a minute. Another thing is migration happens in steps, in series or waves or steps. A few migrants will move first, then when they have made up their mind, then only other will be there. Yes, sir? Each significant migration stream, each significant migration stream has a counter stream also. अगर migration बढ़ता है तो एक counter stream भी होती है. Do we get that? There is a counter stream for migration also. So if a huge crowd is going, one person will not like it, he would want to come back. So counter stream भी होता है migration का. That's also there. Other than that, yeah, who's more migrant? Urban dwellers, less migratory. Rural dwellers, more migratory. Now tell me, do you need a law for this? ये तो clear है सभी को. True or not? Similar to this from Ravenstein, these are more like common sense laws. Common sense laws. Empirical proof, no. Non-inductive. उसके बाद आता है G.K. Ziff. Gilbert Ziff. And what do we call his ideas as? Inverse distance laws of gravity model. Gravity model, we also call this as inverse distance law. Volume of migration is inversely proportional to volume of migration is inversely proportional to distance traveled by the migrant. Is everyone with me on this? Any questions? If you have any questions, please ask. अगर कोई question है तो पूछिए. Otherwise, from my side, this is what I wanted to tell you. These are simple things, sir. ये तो Ravenstein ने भी बोला. So I'm saying Ravenstein just gave general principles, and there are people who are codifying it. So these are the people who are giving it shape and name. Is everyone okay? जी कैसे भी okay. अच्छा, एक और नाम आप कई जगह पर यूज करेंगे इसको. In your answers, use that. Lee's model. Remember Lee? कल बताया था Lee's model. Push, pull model. So yesterday I showed you a diagram also. Plus minus source and destination will have its own plus and minus. Plus is pull factor, minus is push factor. In between, what do we have? Intervening opportunities. There can be a social opportunity, there can be an economic opportunities. So why opportunities? You can also have intervening obstacles. There can be obstacles to it, there can be opportunities to it. Is everyone with me? Are we clear? अगर clear है तो ये भी चलेगा. Are we clear, everyone? So Lee का model हो गया push and pull model of Lee. Push factors and pull factors. What is this? This is source. This is destination. Now, if the question was spatially analyze, I started my class with that question, no? Spatially analyze the contemporary international migration trends. So you can say an analysis of contemporary international migration trend clearly exhibits the manifestation of the push and pull factors and the associated intervening obstacle and opportunities as propounded by Lee in his push-pull model. उससे आपका आंसर क्या हो गया? Do you get that? You are able to give it a geographical theoretical paradigm. Is everyone okay? ऐसे perspective use किया जाता है. Everyone get that? How can I start my answer? By mentioning Lee on this. Is everyone okay? Now, there is this person whose name is Wilbur Zelinsky. Wilbur Zelinsky. इन्होंने क्या किया? DTT को क्या बनाया? Migration transition theory. What do we have? Migration transition theory. This was given to us by Wilbur Zelinsky. Is everyone with me on this? Who gave this theory? Zelinsky. Wilbur Zelinsky gave this theory. The theory is called migration transition theory. So I'm sure you remember the demographic transition. So here also he says that there are 5 stages. 5 stages. Migration occurs in response to the development level of a country and its society. Is everyone okay? So there are stages. So he's also given a stage model. So he was an American geographer, Wilbur Zelinsky. He has used the same idea. Get that? So let me give you stage 1 is the pre-modern traditional society. Do we get that? Nomadic, but non-migratory. So nomadic, remember nomadic tribes, they keep on moving here and there. Nomadism is there. But are they doing it for permanent residence? No. They are nomadic. Pre-modern, there is no this thing. So mostly primary sector, traditional society, traditional tribal society. Is everyone okay? Now this will transform into stage 2. Stage 2 is what? This is early transitional society. Here what is it? Rural people are there. Rural mostly is the mainstay. Some rural urban migration is there. Stage 2. Is everyone okay? Early transition. Stage 3. Later transition. Mostly cities have become, so rural urban is there. Urban has also started. More city oriented society has become industrial society. This is pre-industrial. And this is totally primitive society. Is everyone okay? So he says the amount, the volume, everything will keep on changing. The amount and volume of migrants keep on changing because of this, and the opportunities keep on changing. Is everyone okay? Pre-modern and transition. So transition has happened. And 4th and 5th stage, if you are looking at stage number 4 and 5, I'm just giving you the name. Stage number 4 is advanced society. Here mostly urban is there. A new phenomena has come, urban to rural. New phenomena. People are moving back to countryside. Movement from countryside reduced and even reversed. Is everyone okay? Cities का क्या हो गया? Agglomeration. Cities have become very big. So inter-city migration. Do we get that? Stage 5 is future super advanced society. Most migrations are either inter-urban or within the city you decide intra-urban. So you are in Mumbai and you decide where to migrate close to the office. Do we get that? Close to the office. And this this mirrors the stages of demographic transition also. mirrors the stages of demographic transition also, because what is happening, population is reducing. ब्रिजेश कह रहा है सब अर्बनाइजेशन, बेटा यहीं पर हो रहा है ब्रिजेश, वो तो स्टेज 4 में ही हो गया. सब अर्बनाइजेशन, पेरी अर्बनाइजेशन, पेरी मींस पेरिफेरल. आई गेट दैट ब्रिजेश. अब क्या हो गया, आपकी पॉपुलेशन स्टेबल है, पॉपुलेशन इज नॉट चेंजिंग, पॉपुलेशन इज स्टेबल, नो फर्टिलिटी इंक्रीज इज हैपनिंग. आप वहीं पर है. अब सिटी के लोग ही उसी में, विद इन द सिटी पीपल आर रीलोकेटिंग, people are relocating within the city, so that is happening. Is everyone with me on this? तो एक theoretical paradigm ये भी है, आप वो भी डाल सकते हैं. Why am I giving you this theory? So when you are writing your answers, you are able to come across as a person who just don't have data, but is also a person who is able to think and link more things. Is everyone okay? Finally, अब हमें क्या करना चाहिए? So what should we do next? The next topic. So मैंने theoretical paradigms भी दे दिया. So if you are seeing these words, Zelensky's model, Lee's model, or Ravenstein, the name comes. So just like population में Malthus use करना है, population में Malthus use करना है. Either what we will do, Ravenstein, Jeff, Lee, and Zelensky, we will use in migration. Population में Malthus, migration में these names. Third in economy, Keynesian heart. ठीक है, जो भी आपने पढ़ा है, मैंने कहा ना सब. Human geography is more interdisciplinary. Human geography is more interdisciplinary. You will get such inputs coming in the future also. Everyone with me? Any questions? Please ask. Let's go to the next important topic, social capital. Social capital. The great thing is it has nothing to do with geography. ये मेरे सिलेबस में ऐसे ही डाल दिया गया मेरी जान लेने के लिए. Social capital has got nothing to do with geography. What is social capital? So we know capital. We know capital. पूर्वी कह रही है एथिक्स में, पता नहीं पूर्वी कहाँ से आप उठा के आया कि एथिक्स में. इसका कोई एथिक्स से भी लेना देना नहीं है. सोशियोलॉजी में भी आ जाएगा, इकोनॉमी में भी आ जाएगा. ठीक है. रिमेंबर देयर आर फैक्टर्स ऑफ प्रोडक्शन इन एन इकोनॉमी, फैक्टर्स ऑफ प्रोडक्शन इन एन इकोनॉमी, एंड कैपिटल इज वन ऑफ देम. टाइप्स ऑफ कैपिटल, टाइप्स ऑफ कैपिटल. इकोनॉमिक कैपिटल, यस सर, जीडीपी, पर कैपिटा इनकम, इकोनॉमिक कैपिटल. पॉलिटिकल कैपिटल, यानी से आजकल कांग्रेस हैज लॉस्ट मोस्ट ऑफ इट्स पॉलिटिकल कैपिटल. पॉलिटिकल कैपिटल खत्म हो चुका है उनका. दे नीड टू रिवाइव इट. देन वी हैव टेक्नोलॉजिकल कैपिटल. ह्यूमन कैपिटल. व्हाट इज ह्यूमन कैपिटल? ह्यूमन कैपिटल इज एचआर. एंड देन वी हैव समथिंग कॉल्ड एज सोशल कैपिटल. So what is social capital? Social capital is not economic, political, technological, human. What is it? Economic capital में ऐसे resource capital भी तो है. Resource capital. How much coal you have, how much biodiversity you have, how much water resource you have. ये सारी चीजें हैं. These are all capitals, the names which we are talking about. Is everyone with me on this? यहाँ तक clear? If any question, please ask. If you have any question, please ask. What is social capital now? जल्दी से बताओ. Social capital may be related to volunteer work without gaining any profit. नहीं, not that. Infrastructural and land. बेटा infrastructure and land यहाँ नहीं आ जाएगा. Land, water. पूर्वी से bond which we share in society. पूर्वी घर में तो bond नहीं share होता. हम कह रहे हैं society से हम bond share करेंगे. Great. People don't have bond in their family, and they're talking about that. गरीब लोग हैं, गरीब, एकदम गरीब. Enthusiasm and social norms which connect people. Maybe. अच्छा चलिए. So इनको लेकर आता हूँ मैं, Robert Putnam. But before I bring Robert Putnam, everyone please listen to this. Please listen to this. So you want food. A poor man wants food. A poor man wants food. Poor man. He is a servant in an urban locality. Because of COVID, he's not allowed to work. So उसके पास खाना नहीं है. He doesn't have food. He doesn't have money. He doesn't have food. He doesn't have money. मरेगा या नहीं मरेगा? Bad situation or not? Then he decides to migrate with his children on the road. Buses are also not going. He's on the cycle, walking on the roads. True? Bad situation or not? Is there any way he can get food? He doesn't have money. He doesn't have money. Your family has a loan. Your family has a loan. Yes. And the loan repayment EMI date has come, but the family doesn't have the money. Problem or not? There is a marriage happening. There is a marriage happening. Because of demonetization, most of your money is useless. Problem or not? Can I say your capital is missing? How will you manage? Aren't your parents telling you, पहले बेटा पैसा earn कर लो, फिर जो मौज मस्ती करनी कर लेना. First get money, job security. What is the meaning of job security? Money है ना. बेटा first get this, then you can enjoy life. True or not? Is everyone okay? Robert Putnam looked at this and he said that people, if they get money, that is no guarantee that that brings joy. And he also saw people who don't have money, that is not a guarantee that they will be in misery. True or not? If you have money, so Kushi says, first get settled. Okay? Well, I got a call from one of my students in one of the services and training going on. She said, "Bhai sir, ये वाली training बहुत खतरनाक है sir. If anyone is filling up the form, please tell me. मैं मना कर दूंगी. This training is useless sir." Select हो गए, फिर भी unhappy. True or not? Unhappy. You don't know. IAS बन गया from Haryana, posted in Nagaland, unhappy. True or not? Capital तो आ गया ना. सभी लोग कह रहे हो settle हो जाओ and then everything will be okay. You get settled and everything is okay. True. You got an amazing IT job. You have a very good salary. Now you decided to marry. And your life partner doesn't want to stay with you. आप दोनों लड़ाई कर रहे हो रोज. True, everyone. Everyone true. Is that okay? तो क्या happiness है यार? कोई happiness नहीं. Domestic violence happening, marital rape happening. बच्चे पैदा हो गए, बच्चों को मारपीट कर रहे हो. True. अच्छा, you have a very good job in Canada. You're absolutely lonely. Suddenly, you had something. Say for example, blood pressure shot up. You fainted. Nobody came to your help. True. Now you're critical. Who's talking about get settled? True or not? So you wanted to play, you wanted to sing, you wanted to cook, you wanted to dance, you wanted to write. Parents said, "बंद करो, पहले settle हो जाओ." अब settle हो गए तो new challenges, you don't get time there also. So you are again sad. True or not? So everyone is very very sad. अब क्या करें? Problem है या नहीं है? Big problem or not? Problem तो है, तो फिर क्या करें? So parents are saying settle down. Settle होने के बाद भी चीजें settle नहीं हुई. तो रॉबर्ट पुटनम ने कहा कि खुशी है हमारी क्लास में कोई? Not that खुशी. Yes, so that is the reason that rich people also get depressed. Rich people get depressed and poor people are very happy about whatever things are, whatever way the life is going. ऐसा भी होता है नहीं होता है? True. I am a person who has no income, who has no surplus. I live in my parents' house. Okay? I have no income, no surplus, nothing. I just do one thing. I am there for all people. इसको जो मदद चाहिए होती है. I am very resourceful. I work for others. True. Whenever there is a problem, anyone who faces a problem, who cannot share it with anyone, they trust me. I have earned the trust of everyone in my family, in my friend circle, in the society I live. I have the trust. I stand for them. Get that? I have created strong bonds with the children of the society. I even have bond with the pet and the stray animals of the society. I have bond with the plants and vegetables and whatever is there. मेरे strong bonds हैं, मेरे strong relations हैं. True. सबके सुख दुख में, in everyone's happiness, sadness, I am there. And one day, I fall ill. I don't have the money to reach the hospital. I don't have the energy to reach the hospital. What will happen? What is my future? Every morning I meet people, I greet people, I help them, the old, the young, the children, everything. One day I am missing and I'm not well. What will happen, everyone? What will happen? People will look for me. Where is he? Oh my God, he has fallen ill. Some people will take me to the hospital. They will pay my bill. They will put all the food, fruits, everything that is there. True or not? No, sir, we live in a selfish world. Something like this never happens. So people, I want to tell you, it depends how true you were with this, how much trust, strong bonds and relations you have. I'm saying in today's times, even the family, parents don't develop that bond with their children. Brothers don't develop their bond amongst each other. Husband, wife don't develop that bond with each other. People are forced to live with their pets. They love their dog, cat, donkey more than their child, wife, or mother and father. But if you are like that, will people come to you or not? True. आप एक बात बताइए, किसी की मदद करनी हो, now you are okay and you really want to help someone. किसी को, somebody is in distress. Yes, he gives you a call. X gives you a call that Mr. Y, in your office, can you absorb a boy, Mr. A? He is badly in a need of a job and his profile suits you. क्या आप उसे जॉब के लिए कंसीडर करेंगे कि नहीं करेंगे? करेंगे? Will you do that or not? Everyone who's listening to me, will you do that or not? Possible है? जल्दी बताइए अगर possible है तो. Yes. सौरभ says, but after check details, no problem सौरभ. आपको तो पता ही नहीं ना. अगर मैं किसी को आपके पास भेजूं कि इसकी हेल्प कर दीजिए, इसको जॉब लगवा दीजिए, क्या आप लगवा देंगे? बट यार इंसान लगा सकता है. ट्रू और नॉट? इसके पास कोई इनकम नहीं है भाई, कुछ नहीं है. आपको कहा जा रहा है कि सेटल हो जाओ, उसके बाद अपने सपने पूरे करना. ये हर जगह हर दिन अपने सपने पूरे कर रहा है. यू टेक हिम from India, you take him to USA, he is the same person. You take him to Australia, he is the same person. You take him to Africa, he is the same person. पता नहीं क्या होता है, people come around him or her. Have you seen such women also in your family or in your society? The most dependable ones, the most looked up to ones. They don't have income, they don't have surplus, they don't have land, they don't have access to anything, but they have something very, very special which none of us have, and we are envious of that. We are envious of that. True or not? I want to tell you, like, with so many years of teaching, when I move out and when I talk to some of my students, I'm coming to this city, can you tell me what will be there, good and bad? So I've seen at times, my hotel bookings, everything are done. I'm not allowed to go to my hotel. They will hijack me. Say, sir, आप आए कहाँ पे होटल जा रहे? नहीं, don't worry, I've taken everything is paid. कोई दिक्कत नहीं सर, होटल में और बहुत प्रॉब्लम्स है सर, you stay here. Why? I've paid also. No problem. Sir, आप आए, बहुत बड़ी बात है. The parents would also come that, a child was attending your classes, numerous transformations in his or her thinking happened. Thank you. एक ही बार को मिलना, ऐसा कुछ नहीं. ये कैपिटल है. रॉबर्ट पुटनम कहते हैं, इस कैपिटल का नाम होना चाहिए. This is social capital. The value of the bonds, the trust, the interrelationships that you have created in the world. और सच बताऊं, ट्रेडिशनल सोसाइटी में ये ज्यादा बड़ी कैपिटल थी. The more we are becoming urban, the more we are becoming materialistic, the more we are becoming degree oriented. That is it. I think today's civil servants need this more than any other authority. True or not? Yes or no? Everyone with me on this? सही बोल रहा हूं, गलत बोल रहा हूं? This is called social capital. कहता है किसी की कमी है? क्या मैं कह सकता हूं कि बीजेपी के पास आज सोशल कैपिटल ज्यादा है कंपेयर टू कांग्रेस? A political party needs social capital. True or not? Trust, strong bond, they stood for it. If you feel that your leader has really worked for you, standing for you, हो जाएगा. Can it change? Oh yes, it can change. If this person who was doing it, we realize that this person did it for a vested interest, तो वो सारी social capital destroy हो जाएगी कि नहीं? वो भी हो जाएगा. Yes or no? This person was a terrorist. He was a terrorist. He was pretending to be everyone's this. होता है नहीं होता है? आपकी फैमिली में आपने देखा कि कोई व्यक्ति सबकी मदद करते हैं, ये करते हैं, बट बाय नेचर इनहेरेंटली ही वाज डूइंग इट फॉर सम वेस्टेड रीजन. सो वो ट्रस्ट एकदम हो जाएगा. कैन आई से द सोशल कैपिटल व्हिच कांग्रेस एंजॉयड post independence has gradually eroded. The rule of social capital is you give. That is the rule. You don't take. वो अपने आप आएगा. The rule is you give. अब बताइए, Telegram group which I have created, isn't it a social capital? Where you people can think, link, talk to each other, understand what is happening. That is a social capital. What else? But can it be misused? There can be such groups which can spread hatred also. True. Communal feelings also. Anti-national feelings also. Social capital is a double-edged sword. It can go the opposite way also, sir. Yes, sir, I saw many new officers coming in department tilted to what written in the books rather than what the people under them need. Not only that, beta, their power is only positional power. Shivam, tell me one thing. So many government officials, when they retire, nobody even wants to see their face. Yes or no? Salute was only there because it was to the position, not to the person. But then there are such people. Unki position kuch hona ho, they are respected throughout. That is the social capital you earn, and social capital you earn slowly. So everyone, when your parents tell you to settle up, when your parents tell you to go great, what are they talking about? Aren't they talking about a degree and a job? Are they talking about social capital? When I said travel across the country, ये bonds आप ढूंढेंगे, explore these bonds, बहुत सारे जुड़ जाएंगे कि नहीं जुड़ जाएंगे. कल I was talking to one of my students, he said उसकी शादी है तो उसने एक invite भेजा, सर मेरी शादी है तो प्लीज आइए. ऐसे कुछ बैच कर रही है यार, मुझे याद नहीं आ रहा. बोला सर वो आईटी दिल्ली वाला जो बैच था, I was from there सर, हमारी वो एक स्टूडेंट थी, she is an IS in Karnataka and all that. I said I remember your batch. I said what are you doing now? He said sir I could not clear civil services, but my parents were PhD और मेरे पास भी educational qualification थी, I was an engineer and everything. Sir I am with Government of India Education Ministry. I am working in various projects. 2014 के बाद मोदी government allowed a lot of lateral consultant entries. Sir I could not become an IS officer, but as a consultant I got into government and I've been in this sir. Sir it will be great sir, आप आएंगे शादी में तो बहुत मजा आएगा, and many of my batchmates sir, आपको कई आपके और दूसरे students भी दिखाई देंगे. True. Social capital. Not necessarily एक ही channel से चलना है. So isn't introvert find it hard to build such a social capital despite his or her great work? So Harsh कह रहे हैं कि he's an introvert. So introvert is a person, Harsh, who doesn't go out. But tell me, introversion, Harsh, do we have social media? Now giving a lot of expression to people who are introverts also. You don't talk too much, you don't reach out too much, but आप बहुत बड़े problem solver हैं. Harsh, ये हो सकता है नहीं हो सकता? People know you're so resourceful. That's what I'm talking about. You don't have to be an extrovert. अच्छा एक बात बताइए, क्लास में who does the talking, I or you? I do the talking. That means I'm extrovert. No, that's my job. You do the listening. That means you're introvert. No, that's your job. You're listening to me. True or not? So please don't connect that. Connect something, Harsh. Do you have the sensibility to create that bond? So but they need to showcase much more than what they actually did. Harsh, दिखाना नहीं पड़ता बच्चे. दिखाना नहीं पड़ता. Harsh, तुम बताओ तुम्हारी फैमिली में कुछ लोग ऐसे हैं जो आपके दिमाग में आते हैं. Whenever there is a problem, you think यार उनके पास चला जाता हूँ. Do you think they show it to you? वो show off पे चल रहे हैं. Is that true, everyone? Do you think people are showing off? Ambani, everyone, has a lot of capital. True or not? जो करना कर सकता है. What did the Kisan Andolan do? Social capital. पूर्वी सिंह जो सच में करता है उसमें शो ऑफ नहीं दिखता, बिल्कुल होता है. वो बाय नेचर आपको ऐसे दिखाई देगी. That is social capital. True or not? Britishers had power. Yes. Indian freedom struggle. किसने जीता? Who won it? Social capital. What were the Britishers doing? They were fragmenting our social capital. When the Britishers were dividing us, what were they doing? They were fragmenting our social capital. Do you agree or not? कर रहे थे नहीं कर रहे थे? बिल्कुल कर रहे थे भाई. Do you agree or not? So that is what the Britishers were doing. If you can see that, amazing. So please write down. Can I say social capital is the capital of the poor? Capital or power of the poor? World Bank इसको power of the poor कहता है. Shivam कह रहे never thought like this, got a different dimension. Shivam, I think you are in the government job. You are in a job. एक बात बताइए शिवम, एक प्रोजेक्ट करना है जिसमें your boss gives you instruction, you are an employee, and उसके बाद आप अपनी एक टीम बनाते हैं. टीम में सोशल कैपिटल होता है. Yes or no? Armed forces वो जो बनहोंगी होती है ना, देश के लिए खड़े और तेरे लिए भी खड़ा. I am standing for you also. Two officers, two जवान standing for each other. मेरी जान और तेरी जान साथ में जुड़ी हुई. That is the social capital. When we divide people, we are hitting on that social capital. इसकी problem ये है, ये दिखती नहीं. You can't measure it. The problem with social capital is that it is non-tangible. It does not show. True. अब बता तो दिया आपको. You are also liking it. But the problem is the social capital जो idea है. Can everyone see that this idea is non-geographical? इसका geography से कुछ लेना देना नहीं. So one of my master stroke programs, I was just asking students, इसको geographical कैसे करेंगे? So I gave them a question. So one student did an innovation. Sir, urban areas lack social capital. Rural areas have social capital. Do we agree? गांव में आज भी कोई भूखा नहीं सोएगा. Provided हमने गांव में communalism का जहर नहीं घुलाया. If we have not done that, if we have not divided them, people will take care of it. True or not? Somebody said, जैसा अभी आपने लिखा किसी ने West and East, तो उन्होंने कहा developed countries lack social capital. So law पे चलते हैं, एकदम law पे चल रहे हैं. They mistrust migrants की migrant चोर होता है and all those things. So they have such feelings or not? Yes sir, but in rural same happening like urban. बिल्कुल हो रहा है. मैं तो कह रहा हूँ यश, राखी, what is happening is the social capital is getting eroded. The more urban cosmopolitan we are becoming, don't you hear of people dying on the roads, nobody coming to help them? ठीक है, पुलिस केस हो जाएगा, व्हाई शुड आई गो? इन सोसाइटीज, अर्बन एरियाज, नेक्स्ट डोर अ मर्डर हैपेंस, अ रेप हैपेंस, यू डोंट नो, उधर से चीखने चिल्लाने के बाद कौन पड़ेगा पचड़े में? डू वी गेट दैट? बट टेल मी, व्हेन आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट दिस, डज एवरीवन अंडरस्टैंड? डज एवरीवन अंडरस्टैंड दैट सोशल कैपिटल इज वेरी मच नीडेड? रॉबर्ट पुटनैम ने बात किया कि भाई हमारे पास सोसाइटी, इन द सोसाइटी वी डेवलप इंटरलिंकेजेस. सो आई एम योर टीचर, यू डेवलप एन इंटरलिंकेज विद मी. You trust me that sir is going to finish the syllabus. You finish the syllabus also, but still you are not very confident about your preparation. So you know, okay, don't worry, sir is going to help me in answer writing also. When the time comes, I can call my teacher. Yes, sir. So when you come and you call on that, I say यार एकदम zero answer लिख रहा है तो जाके practice करो. Reciprocity. Yes sir, I trust you sir. जो आप कहेंगे मैं वो try भी करूँगा. That is called reciprocity. But some student, hey teacher ने मुझे डांट दिया, I hate this teacher. There is no reciprocity. Moment that happens, the chain is blocked. True or not? So interlinkages, the teacher tells you to do this, आज होमवर्क करके आना, आपने किया होमवर्क, तो उससे क्या हुआ? ट्रस्ट हमारा और बढ़ता है नहीं बढ़ता है? The trust increases. In the process also you start seeing the rewards of that. Oh, my confidence is increasing. Yes, what my teacher said works. So that's how it is built. It is built step by step. Now suddenly somebody comes in between. In the class and has a random question. And I said, क्या बात कर रहे हो यार? This is a random question. How did you say that? You don't have any manners. How can you talk to me like this? I am so and so. चाचा, you are so and so, तो रहो ना फिर so and so. If you are so and so, that is just a positional authority. That is just a positional authority. No, where is that bond? Where is that bond? That is what we are talking about. So ये जो bond हो जाता है, इसको तोड़ना बहुत मुश्किल है. इसको तोड़ना बहुत मुश्किल है. Do you think the politicians are developing these bonds? The leaders, are they developing these bonds with the population? Are they doing that anywhere? कहीं पर भी आपको लगता है ऐसा? बिल्कुल नहीं हो रहा है. और अगर ये नहीं हो रहा है तो कहीं पर भी नहीं होगा. तो ये प्रॉब्लम बनी रहेगी. Is everyone with me on this? Clear? So all these, as per Robert Putnam, he says all these have a value. Nobody can understand the value of that Telegram group. Remember, some people come, उसमें अपना मार्केटिंग करते हैं. Please buy my subscription. सस्ते में ले लो, ये ले लो. वो उसे कैसे यूज करें? कमोडिटी. What are we using it as? We are using it as a strong community. पूर्वी कह रहे सो कॉल्ड मन की बात टू डेवलप सोशल बॉन्ड ऑफ मोदी जी. बिल्कुल ठीक है पूर्वी, मन की बात फ्रॉम द प्राइम मिनिस्टर कैन बी अ अपॉर्चुनिटी टू कनेक्ट विद पीपल. बट मन की बात में अगर आप कुछ ही बात करोगे, सारी बात नहीं करोगे, है ना? इफ इट कम्स अक्रॉस एज अ एजेंडा बेस्ड बात, तब विश्वास कम होता है. डू वी अंडरस्टैंड? जब शास्त्री जी ने कहा जय जवान जय किसान और सबका साथ, सबका विकास, सबका विश्वास, सबकी बिलीवेबिलिटी अलग होती है. ट्रू और नॉट? द स्ट्रॉन्गर यू हैव द बॉन्ड, द डिफरेंट विल बी द रिजल्ट. वही चीज आके राहुल गांधी बोलेगा, उसका अलग वैल्यू है. ट्रू और नॉट? यदि कह रहे अपने मन की कर रहे हैं, हमारे मन की तो खरीद नहीं रहे, तो कह रहे हैं भाई बहुत सारी चीजें. बच्चों एग्जाम में स्ट्रेस मत लेना. नहीं ले रहे सर, वो पेपर लीक करना बंद करवा दो, उस पर कोई बात नहीं होगी. ट्रू और नॉट? नोबडी डाइड बिकॉज ऑफ ऑक्सीजन शॉर्टेज इन इंडिया. नोबडी डाइड बिकॉज ऑफ ऑक्सीजन शॉर्टेज इन इंडिया. फिर कैसे वो ट्रस्ट कैसे बनेगा? मैं तो यही पूछ रहा हूं. That fractures the polity. Nobody understands. देखिए आप whatever we are doing in theory, you can see this is actual theory happening. I'm not just giving you how में चीजें, not just giving let's just for that. I am saying this has value. This combined value, combined total of all is called social capital. Social capital written to you mathematically. ऐसे होता है social capital. This is there. Through social capital we can move mountains. That's what I'm suggesting to all of you. All of you are listening to my conversation. This is what I'm telling you. Is everyone with me on this? So please write down. Technically speaking, the concept of social capital, is based on the fact. Technically speaking, the concept of social capital is based on the fact that all social networks have a value. All social networks have value. The combined value of all social networks in an area, the combined value of all social networks in an area refers to its social capital. This idea believes in This idea believes in the fact that human relations can help in producing human relations and interactions. Human relations and interactions. Human relations and interactions can help in producing collaborative action which can further bring social, economic, and political progress to a region. Political, economic, and social progress to a region. Next paragraph. Next paragraph. For very long, human numbers, for very long, human numbers were seen as a resource, called human resource, Please write down. This was a quantitative view. This was a quantitative view of human population. This was a quantitative view of human population, which now is being broadened, by adding a qualitative view. This has been broadened by adding a qualitative view to the concept of population. This qualitative idea was called as social capital. This qualitative idea was called as social capital by Robert Putnam, Putnam, by Robert Putnam. Next paragraph. This concept heavily relies on the ideas. This concept heavily relies on the ideas of trust, reciprocation. I hope you understand what is the meaning of reciprocation. You do this, I will also do this back. Reciprocation, जो आपने किया मैं उसके फेवर में मैं भी करूंगा. Trust, reciprocation, information and communication between human social networks. Between human social networks. This, next sentence, this used productively and positively, produce fruitful results. By adding fruitful results by adding to the overall quality of life. So homework है आपका positives and negatives of social capital in the world, in India. See a spatial dimension if possible. Second homework is this. One homework is map of migration. Is everyone okay? Migration data, those parameters are there. You have to tell me the flashpoints of migration. You have to show me the source. You have to show me the destination, and you also have to show me the corridors. I've already given you material on that. And here, positive and negative of social capital. Will you list it down? Will you look at world in this? Will you look at India? Will you look for some spatial dimension? You can look for some example. और नेट पे करना ऐसा नहीं कि अपने दिमाग से कुछ करना, थोड़ा रेफर भी करेंगे. We'll do that and some case study. And do you think you, your family, your friends, your society needs social capital? And nobody knows that. Nobody is trying to do that. I always say collaboration is a bigger value than competition. Indian society is being made increasingly more competitive. Competition is left brain, remember? Collaboration is right brain. Social capital has got nothing to do with introvert, extrovert. It's your right brain. There are people who created, ways to interact during COVID times. Software bana diya, groups bana diye, channels bana diye. You are instrumental in that. I'm saying anything. And it all depends on reciprocation. Teacher is giving his best. Yes, he's explaining again and again. Jo chahiye ho, aap jo hai, apna hi raag ga rahe ho. There was a student who writes in the previous batch, proud to be a bhakt. Kar le bhakti yaar. When you are proud to be a bhakt, proud hi kar le yaar. If a teacher cannot even bring that moment I say proud to be bhakt, I want to divide bhakt and non-bhakt. Proud to be bhakt. हाथ जोड़ दिया और कुछ कह सकते. Be there. I'm sorry I failed. Why? Reciprocity. If reciprocity is not there, cannot happen. True or not? So you want better relation with your friend, family and everything, but उसमें पिताजी का डंडा है, नहीं, इनसे बात नहीं करनी है. So there is a problem. Social capital cannot work if the situations are not conducive to it. If we have sedition law, current affairs से जोड़ा, sedition law, social capital को कभी भी तोड़ सकता है. True or not? The social capital, if it is being generated against something which the government doesn't like. Look at it. When I teach geography, it is all connected with current sociology, jurisprudence, law, economics. That is why human geography is multidisciplinary. कई बार question पूछता है, human geography is multidisciplinary. Show. Sedition law. Yeah. There is no answerability of the executive. अगर वो कोई बात नहीं करते हैं, कोई मीडिया में बयान नहीं देते, कोई प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस नहीं होते, social capital question कर लेना. True or not? When you choose to be silent on something and violent on something, yes or no? Social capital is taking a hit. Pardoning power of president and governor is also social capital. अभी सोच नहीं पा रहा हूँ खुशी. आपने कुछ सोचा होगा तो आप लिख सकते हैं. अपने आंसर में लिखिएगा. Everyone try doing that and don't take the pressure. Don't take the pressure. Social capital develops over a period of time. Problem with social capital. Another problem with social capital. Number one, you can't measure it. Number two, अगला सामने वाला धोखा देना चाहता है, आप करते रहिए लोगों के लिए, वो नहीं कर रहा है. So you cannot force people to do that for you. ठीक है. Third thing is you need an environment, conducive environment for that to happen. वो नहीं मिलता कई बार. ठीक है. Fourth thing about social capital is क्या बोलना तुम्हें? भूल गया. It is qualitative and it can have multiple meanings. So everyone, I know you are tired and thank you for staying so long. Every day मेरी class 3 घंटे जा रही है and you are sticking to it and not tired. So thank you and work on this. Educate people around you. Trust people. Don't be so skeptical. Parents को भी enroll करिए, trust करिए. We work together. Those bonds will give you power. That will never let you go depressed and demotivated. I'll see you at 6 o'clock on the class on world climate classification. This is a part of climatology. Get that? Thank you. Bye bye. Have a great day. See you at 6 p.m.